Here we go, New York City. Good morning from the Big Apple. It is weigh-in day for UFC 281. What a perfect day in the city. And we are here at the famed Radio City Music Hall, right in the heart of the city, waiting for things to begin in a matter of minutes. 28 fighters stepping to this scale shortly. Israel Adesanya is ready to go, and you can watch it all right here on the UFC 281 official weigh-in show, sponsored by Modelo. Welcome inside Radio City Music Hall, everybody. We have our regular crew, Laura Sanko here.
Always here.
As always. Double champ Daniel Cormier here as well. And of course, former middleweight champ Chris Weidman joining us for the first time. Good to see you, my man.
Let's do this.
All the way up from the Carolinas to take part in the weigh-in show. And I don't know how many times, I'm sure you've watched every single one leading up to this one, but you've never had a chance to win this belt. And it is vacant, by the way, because
why is it vacant?
John Gooden and Felder won the belt in Abu Dhabi, and they are not here, so it is a vacant title.
You know, I'm good at those.
I'm coming. I'm good at vacant title.
I will tell you that a regular part of the show as well is R.J. Clifford, who will be here in a moment. But I will say,
that's very true.
Has a southern
he
accent.
now sounds southern since he moved to the Carolinas, right? He does try to sound southern
I'm
now.
so New York.
This guy tries to sound southern now.
How you doing?
Look
I'm
at
in
his
New York
haircut.
now. Don't try to kill me.
Look at your haircut.
I'm back in the Big Apple.
Like,
right?
You sound like you're from
Don't kill my street cred.
Well, there's another thing, Chris, you'll find out that DC does is he'll try to act like he's friends with you, but as you are well aware, leading up to the show, he didn't talk to any of us. He was in his phone, in his Instagram, looking down the entire time.
It's wartime,
and you know what it was? It was almost 12 full minutes as we fast forward through this of us coming through, you on your phone, you didn't say a word, you didn't talk to a person, and you're still holding it in your hand.
Well, because you guys want to know what I was doing?
12 minutes.
Because I'm trying. Look at this.
Look at his face.
I'm putting literally all my notes that I want in one area. Claudio Puelles, Renato Moicano, Ryan Spann, On Reyes, Andre Prochazka, Wellington Turman. Look at this, Chris, am I lying?
Bro, this is good. Who gave that to you?
I'm putting all my notes in one. These guys don't tell.
Who gave that to you?
I'm putting all my notes, all my thoughts in my phone so that I can give these guys the credit that they deserve.
Was that Dominic Cruz? Dominic Cruz gave that to you?
He did, yeah. He has forced me to work harder.
Let's bring in John Anik, who is standing by and hearing all of this go down. Is he really putting notes in his phone, or is he on his Instagram?
DC gets a bad rap in terms of the preparation. That dude works effing hard. So I want to say that off the top, right? Chris Weidman's fade looks great. DC looks like he needs a bigger chair than that director's chair. DC's had a hard time with that chair this morning. But yeah, I mean, my man DC, like the reason I don't go out to dinner with just me and Daniel is because I feel like the dude's going to be in his phone, even though I love him dearly.
You see?
Right now.
You're one of those guys,
that's
bro.
my boy. No, I'm not, man. That's my boy.
You got to put your phone on the table.
Me and Anik are better off on the golf course. We do better than
Yeah. We are. Yeah, that's right.
Which you're terrible at.
So I cannot wait to play you.
Can you please tell me that you beat Daniel Cormier on the golf course? Because I've played with him a number of times. The game's not strong.
He doesn't cheat as much as he did when he first started, but I do think if we actually played head-to-head, we would be pretty competitive. I think
He's a liar.
more consistent.
This dude's good.
I lose more golf balls.
With the handicaps, we're talking, or straight up?
No, I mean, I could shoot 90 on a good day. I could shoot 120 and kill somebody in the gallery on a bad day.
Anik, since we're here and we're talking numbers, I want to talk the numbers for the main event here. Many thought that Alex Pereira would be the most viable threat to Israel Adesanya's title reign. Yet as we get closer to the fight, the odds even more, even stacking up greater against Pereira. At this point, a 2-1 favorite is the champ. Do those numbers surprise you at all?
A little bit. When the fight was first announced, it seemed as though a lot of my contemporaries and a lot of the pro fighters were all aboard the Alex Pereira train, right? But if you've ingested a lot of media this week, it seems as though a lot of the high-profile UFC fighters are leaning into Adesanya's MMA experience, the manner in which he has sort of evolved his striking game to MMA, and it's just hard when you look at, 7 title fights on one side and 7 professional MMA fights on the other. So I think that's reflective in the betting number starting to increase. I just can't wait to get to Saturday night one way or the other.
I know. It is an unbelievable card. And obviously, in the other championship fight, we have Carla Esparza. She's set here to weigh in. Izzy set to weigh in as well. It was interesting during the press conference because it was a very pro-Zhang Weili crowd when you had your fighter meeting with Carla? What was the tone there?
That's a good question, Dano. You know, Carla said to us that she was booed much more loudly when she fought Rose Namajunas, but it seemed as though there was just a venomous tone to the boos at the press conference this week. Carla would pick up her microphone, and these people were just ruthless going at her. Largely, I felt like she was unfazed and handled it pretty well. I think we tried to build her up a little bit in the fighter meeting. I read her strawweight wins list, and look at all that you've accomplished. So certainly there aren't a lot of people who are giving her a chance. I think it's hard for any American when you're in your home country fighting somebody who is an international to not have the crowd behind you. But, you know, I think Carla is equipped to deal with that. I think the bigger problem is the physical specimen on the other side of the octagon.
Maybe the best athlete in the division in Zhang Weili, no doubt about it. Poirier-Chandler should be the most exciting fight on this card. What did you learn from those two when you chatted with them?
Well, you know, Michael Chandler suggests that he just wants it more and that Dustin believes that to be true. I'm not necessarily sure that that's the case. And I think for Poirier, you know, whatever the motivation, you don't have to worry about Dustin's discipline. You don't have to worry about him putting in the requisite time. I will admit to being surprised at how much this betting line has moved this week, right? Michael Chandler right now can be had close to plus 200, plus 350 to win by knockout. We're seeing a lot of people pour money in on Dustin Poirier. Perhaps it's the Conor McGregor effect. At least from this man's mouth, I think it's tighter than the betting line indicates, at least right now, but that's why they play the games.
All right, he is Jon Anik, the voice of the UFC, the scruff looking sharp, my friend, very distinguished. We appreciate the time as always.
It's white.
Distinguished.
Thank you guys, Wyman. Your fade is on point.
All right, let's take a look at the prelims on ESPN News and ESPN Plus coming up on Saturday. It's Petroski looking to push his record of 4-0 in the UFC against Wellington Turman. Meatball Molly looking to keep it rolling against heavy favorite Aaron Blanchfield. Top 15 lightweights Dominic Reyes and Ryan Spann. Brad the Quake Riddell, excuse me, and Renato Moicano closing out the prelims. As for the main card, it is outstanding. My goodness. Dan Hooker, Claudio Puelles, Frankie Edgar hoping to put a bow on a remarkable career against Chris Gutierrez. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler going to be all gas, no brakes. And then two title fights, Carla Esparza and Zhang Weili in the co-main, Israel Adesanya versus the man that has beaten him twice in kickboxing, the dangerous Alex Pereira. And when we talk about that, that's all anybody's. He's lost twice to him in kickboxing.
I can't concentrate because DC has this like
I had
look
to
on
clear
his
my
face.
throat.
So you think you could just cough and sneeze in this world that we live in
Okay.
today? He's just coughing. You see this guy?
Bro, you're so California.
It's
So
flu
disrespectful.
season.
You gotta put a mask on
You can't
now.
just be coughing.
This
Put a mask
guy.
on, man.
He's
you can't
mandating
just
masks.
be coughing.
Bro,
I'm gonna
are you
mandate
kidding me?
mask on you. You keep
The
coughing.
entire time
figuring it out right
the
now.
entire time
We
you
need
were
a
reading that
mandated mask
card,
on this.
he had this look on his
California,
face
bro.
where he's like, I'm about to throw some massive shade as soon
Dude,
as
this
we
is
come back on
crazy,
camera.
bro. You can't just be coughing.
So
Oh no,
there was an
I'm
old
breaking
there was,
things.
Not gonna stop.
Do I win the belt now? Oh, all right.
Oh, it's upside down.
Oh
Flip
my
that back.
goodness,
All right, let's do
please.
this the right way.
You got the new guy in here.
Who put-
Shows
who
up
brought
the
this
real-
ball?
hey, by the
We need
way,
a set.
This should
We
be
need a
taped
set.
up there
like
or
6
something.
times. You get sick all the time. Can I clear my throat?
You guys are gonna fire
Please,
me?
bro,
That's it. I'm
please.
You were
done.
about to
About
ask
to
me a
walk off
great
the show?
question.
Yeah, it was
I
a
was.
great question.
Go ahead and
I was.
ask it.
I was. When we talk about Pereira and Izzy
Yeah.
and the kickboxing matches that they've had, that Izzy's lost twice, right?
Yep.
The reality is, some say he won the first one and he was winning the second one. It's not as clear cut as him just losing twice.
Yeah, there's a lot of X factors that go into these fights, and I tend to agree with the people that saw that first fight for Izzy. I'm not an expert in kickboxing scoring, but it looked like when they announced the winner, Izzy was surprised, and so was Alex. And in that second fight, you could see Izzy pressuring a little bit more. He was taking it to him. Of course, we know how it ended, and that's the headline, right? Is him ending up on the canvas. But I talked a lot to Alex's coach because he used to be my coach when I lived here in New York City, and he told me one thing that really, really stuck with me. He said, "You got to understand that when they fought, Israel Adesanya had almost 100 kickboxing matches, almost 100." And Alex had roughly 20. He's like, that is the greenest version of Alex that he's ever going to face.
You
And
almost
they're
told me that
taking
in
a
the
lot
back
of.
too. That was a great point. You almost told me that.
I almost gave you
I was about to
one of
steal
my
that
best
nugget.
nuggets, and then I
would
felt
open
better.
the show with it.
He started
Chris
recording
saved me.
it.
Chris saved me. He's like, you realize what he's doing to you right now. He's taking your stuff.
Yeah, Pereira hits like a truck, and obviously you've seen that in those fights. But I don't know, like he might have been greener then, but his power is kind of still the same, and I still think that's his biggest danger that he brings to the table. But if you watch those fights and you take away the knockout, it looks like Adesanya is the better kickboxer. And you could see he was the veteran of the sport at that time. It should be super interesting to see what plays out here. And I wonder how annoyed Adesanya has to be at this point, hearing about these two fights, the fact that he's fighting this guy.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to ask him. The weigh-in is officially underway, and Carla Esparza going to be the first to step to the scale.
Like a boss.
No booing there.
No. She's always handled her business. And, I mean, talk about someone who's stoic in every single circle. You know the way she walks into the octagon and just sort of stands there like she's about to do her taxes? I mean, I don't think
she's just won.
114.8.
114.8.
The official weight for the champion, Carla Esparza.
All she's done is win.
She's got that strong
And
mind.
regardless of what people say, the lack of respect that she gets from the gambling experts and the fans, she wins. And she's a two-time strawweight champion. This is the deepest weight class of female fighting. And she stood atop it twice.
Yeah.
It's time to put some respect on it.
Ranked number 11.
There he is.
Here comes Poirier.
Yeah, that's Dustin the Diamond Poirier right there. The Diamond of Lafayette. Look, man, I was sitting with this guy the other day, and him and I were talking, and he goes, if Michael Chandler lets his nuts hang and tries to fight me with his hands down like he did against Justin Gaethje, he said, I'm cleaning them up, DC, going back to Lafayette. He says, that simple. Anybody fights me in that way, he goes, yes, they all hit hard, but the reality is they don't have the rhythm. They don't have the timing. He said, they don't fight like me. And that's very evident.
156, the official weight for Dustin the Diamond
156
Poirier.
for Diamond, but that's very evident in Poirier because Poirier is not fast. But everything is well timed. Everything comes from where it's supposed to be, and that's why he knocks so many people
All right, next
out.
athlete
It's
to the scale.
This fight is going to be good, and he's very ready for it. He does not like Michael Chandler as much as he may tell you different.
I agree, man. I think they're fighting each other because over who's the better looking family guy. The better looking dad. I don't know why they hate each other. Oh, Adesanya.
Here is the champ.
Izzy's got a 12-fight middleweight win streak.
185, the official weight for the champion,
It
Israel
looks like he's hurting a little bit.
Adesanya.
He never
never
cuts
looks
that
like
much
that.
He
weight.
said he put on size for this
But he
camp.
could be
though.
messing around, right? He's one of those guys that messes
for
around.
sure.
But I mean, he's 112 in the one middleweight. He's starting to kind of.
He said he intentionally put on some muscle, like really focused on strength and conditioning in this camp. So it might have been, and he normally doesn't cut much. So even a moderate cut might feel like a lot.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit bigger, but he ain't Pereira's level.
The beautiful Silvana Gomez Juarez coming off an absolutely sensational knockout of Liang Na, round one knockout. And, I mean, that was really a watershed moment for her. And you could see the emotion when she won that fight. She really needed to get that one.
115.6, the official weight for Silvana
115.6.
Gomez Juarez.
Makes the mark there. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic fight because both of these girls love to bang. Should be a striker's delight in that one for sure.
Taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz, of course. And here is Montel Jackson, the Contender Series alum from way back in 2018.
You know, Montel's been away for a little bit and said to everyone this week that you've got to lose yourself in the work. So when you're away from the octagon and you're not performing in front of people, you have to go back to the drawing board. You've got to get better, and you've got to work so diligently at improving that when you come back, everybody think you see a new fighter. He said nothing's changed for him. And I met this kid at a wrestling camp back in Milwaukee one time. He's got the.
He looks a little rough.
Yeah, he's also got that.
So
that
can you? Is it possible to
135.8,
cheat
the official
there,
weight for
DC, with that?
Montel Jackson.
135.8 for Montel Jackson.
Is it possible?
Yes, it is very possible, and I will tell you how exactly.
How would you do it?
You still got
How
years
would
to
you
fight,
do it?
so I'm going
Walk
to tell
me
you.
through
I want
But
to be taught.
Montel Jackson, long for the weight class, and has a lot of potential. Very talented kid. Everything hasn't gone exactly as he intended, but when he starts to get going in the right direction, especially with the time away, we could be looking at a guy that could be a player in this division for a long time.
So you'll notice a digital scale, something that I think it was Dustin Poirier said we should always have digital scales. So they're using that here in New
It makes
York.
it much easier.
All right,
here
next
comes another
fighter
one.
to the scale, one half of the featured prelim live on ESPN News and E+ in the lightweight division, Renato Moicano.
Right,
You know,
DC?
Moicano, is fighting Riddell, and we know Brad Riddell as a fantastic striker. We know Renato Moicano as a guy that is a great grappler. But he's very confident in his ability to fight Riddell on his feet. He thinks that he can compete with anyone in the world, but the reality is
155.8, the official weight for Renato
Moicano. One thing about Moicano, though, is he's one of those guys that has been around long enough now that winning the fight is very important, as we have seen in some big spots, but he wants fun fights. He wants to put on a show, and he believes that in the position that he's in, placement on the card, against a guy like Brad Riddell, they can really blow the roof off of Madison Square Garden. So,
all right, next fighter to weigh in this morning is the former UFC strawweight champion and number 2 ranked contender, Magnum Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili walking to the stage. She has so much personality. I remember it was 2 or 3 fights ago, she's walking into the octagon, makes eye contact with Tom Brady, octagon side.
Yes,
he smiles
I remember
at
that.
her. She kind of gives him a nod. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
She knows what she's about, and I feel like you can get the sense that she's becoming more and more comfortable in this role as potentially
cool kid.
The cool
People
kid.
like her, like I'm telling you.
I was blown away by her reception.
Is Zhang Weili so short? She's not even over the. Is Zhang Weili on the scale? Just too short to be over the thing.
Can she be
Where
cheating?
is Zhang Weili's like hanging on the thing?
Are you making short jokes now? Is that what we're doing already?
I'm short.
Did you see her pick up Francis Ngannou?
Yeah, dude,
yes.
she's so short.
How amazing is
my
that?
Gosh.
Like nothing. I see her hands. It might be her.
Ponytail, I think.
And it's crazy. So whatever they are right now on this scale,
They're trying to watch her. They're trying to watch her. They're making sure now.
She can't go back on.
Wait,
And
really?
That's what they said. Yeah, New York, the commission said that you only step on
114.8,
once.
the official weight
There we
for
go,
Zhang Weili, and that means your UFC Women's Strawweight title fight
Why is there
is
no
now
reweigh?
official.
There's not the 2-hour window anymore in
Nope.
New York City?
Nope.
Not even for title
There's a
fights?
2-hour window, but you can't step on. Once you step on, you can't be like, oh, I have to take my underwear off.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait.
You can't just reweigh
That's
in
it.
like another minute or two.
Zhang
Might as
Weili
well
was
strip all the way
114.
down.
Oh, you know what could happen in a minute? You could lose like 2 pounds. Seriously, bro.
Are you serious? How do you do that?
I did it.
It's crazy.
Spit. Gum, spit.
Don't ask.
Old wrestling
Don't ask
tricks.
Israel Adesanya how
6
this
pounds
is the
gone.
last pound.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
was
heard
not-
about
yeah.
that. Yeah. You want to explain that?
God, she's a specimen.
She is.
And like she's athletic, and I always say that she's the greatest athlete of all time,
Yep.
and people get mad at me. But she is a pretty good athlete.
Bro, you watch her hit
All right,
pads, you
next
watch her
fighter
move around.
to
She's a
weigh in this
beast.
morning,
Terrifying.
the 12th ranked UFC flyweight contender, Erin Blanchfield.
Blanchfield, a big favorite.
She is, and listen, don't get it twisted. She's a Jersey girl. We are fighting in her backyard this weekend.
125, the
She
official
said,
weight for Erin Blanchfield.
125 on the nose for Erin. She said, when she was training at Henzo Gracie's, she would walk past
next athlete to the scale just so
MSG all the
happens
time,
to be
and
her
every time she was
opponent,
just
the
thinking about
15th
one day I'm
ranked
going to fight there,
flyweight
one day
in
I'm
the
going to fight there, and
world,
here she is.
Meatball Molly
There we go.
McCann.
Hey, I'm Molly Meatball McCann. I'm fighting out of Liverpool, England, next gen MMA. Laurie, are we having a bevy on
125.4,
Saturday
the
night?
official weight for Molly McCann.
John talked about I don't know what she said. Someone fill me in. I couldn't hear over John. But
She's a big
she wants to
underdog,
know
right?
if I want to get a bevy.
All right, next fighter
Absolutely,
to
Molly.
the
I'll get a
scale,
bevy with
weighing in
you.
for the last time
Anytime.
as a UFC fighter,
Awesome.
future Hall of Famer, former undisputed
Let's
lightweight
go.
champion.
The man, the
answer,
myth, the legend,
Frankie
Frankie Edgar. I feel like he's the most respected guy in the history of the sport. Every fighter just has the utmost respect for him. He basically his whole career he fought up a weight class, or maybe up 2 weight
135.6,
classes
the official
at
weight
155
for
because there wasn't those
Frankie
lower weight
Edgar.
classes available for him, and he just showed tons of heart. And this is his last fight. He's retiring after this, so this is a big moment for him to go out on top.
All right, next fighter to the scale is the number 5 ranked UFC
Michael
lightweight
Chandler
contender,
from
former
Nashville,
world title
Tennessee,
challenger,
and DC.
Iron
I know I'm 155 pounds right now. I can't wait to eat one of those cram PB&Js with you after these weigh-ins.
He's shameless. I swear, dude, he's shameless.
155.8, the official weight
Graham
for Michael
PB&J.
Chandler.
He has so many sponsors. It's like I said that I like peanut butter and jelly, and I like the Uncrustables. So then he sends me these healthy Uncrustables, and they're pretty good. And now they've become like a staple of my family. But this dude's selling
They're
Graham
healthy
PB&J.
Uncrustables?
Bro, it's insane. It's
the
on wheat
steamroller,
bread. They're an
Matt
Uncrustable
Frivola.
wheat bread. It's tremendous.
All right, we got the steamroller for Vola, Sarah
Lineman's had enough
Longo,
of your
one of my
Uncrustable
teammates.
crap.
Yeah, shut up with your sponsors, bro. I know you're getting a piece.
Chandler's sponsor.
You're getting a piece. I know what you're doing. Bro, so for Vola, I mean, for a long time, he got stuck and wanted to put on a show, and he's just swinging for the fences.
154.8, the official
his
weight
coach,
for
has been
Matt
working a lot on
Frivola.
head movement. After he got knocked out by McKinney in 7 seconds, a lot has changed. He came back in his last fight, got a win, and I'm excited to see how he challenges and stacks up against Azatar.
Pretty
Undefeated
good,
dude, man.
Pretty good.
All right,
But
next
he's the
fighter to
favorite.
the scale is
Frivol's
his
the
opponent
favorite
in that
over
lightweight
undefeated dude.
division, back for the first time in a long time,
There he is.
Ottman Azaitar.
Here comes Ottman Azaitar, and guys, I got to tell you something. Gotta tell you something.
Did you find out?
There was nothing in
What's
the bag.
in the bag?
Stop.
What's in the
Nothing's
bag?
in the bag. I promise you, nothing's in the bag. Do you remember when he?
Yeah.
There was nothing
he was
in there.
scaffolding.
There was literally nothing in there, and everybody keeps asking Ottman about it, and he goes, "You know what, guys? It's nothing. It's like me showing up with my luggage to come to a fight. Why is everybody so interested in the bag? There's nothing in the bag."
Okay. Wow.
The guy is a tremendously skilled mixed martial artist, unbelievable power, and as honest as they come. So if he tells me there's nothing in the bag, there's nothing in the bag.
All right, you believe him.
I believe him.
Cool.
Well, it's his
I'll go with that.
first fight since 2020.
It's been a while.
155.6, the official weight for Ottman Azaitar.
He is
5.6.
13. He is 13-0.
Yeah.
And 2-0 in the UFC. So
he's a
first time.
But that's the
Finisher,
thing, right?
too.
And he's a finisher. And he hits extremely hard, and he's nasty.
Yeah.
He's a guy that just wants to fight.
He's a brawler.
And I'm excited to watch him back in the octagon. It's been way too long.
Are you rooting for him?
I can't root for anybody, but I'm excited
Okay.
to watch
There
him
you go.
fight.
That's a good answer.
He's learned.
His brother,
All right, next
that's like
fighter
his
to
brother.
the
He's
scale,
a fighter
charged with
too.
kicking
Yeah,
off
yeah.
a big night for City
85er?
Kickboxing
Yeah,
in the
85
UFC's
pounds,
light
so.
heavyweight division, Carlos Ulberg.
All right, Sanko.
This guy's a beast.
He is, and he's sort of the first of the four horsemen that are going to hit the octagon on Saturday, representing City Kickboxing. And listen, he made a huge impression on the Contender Series. Had kind of a disappointing UFC debut, but he has really found some momentum coming off that
205.2,
insane.
the official weight for
205.2 is the
Carlos
weight. Coming off
Ulberg.
that insane knockout of Tafon Chukwi, took him just a minute and 15 seconds, and I know he feels like that's momentum for him to be riding into this big weekend, because it's important for him to set the tone, right, for the rest of these guys, for the whole evening, for that entire gym.
Thought it
All
was
right, next
interesting
fighter to weigh
that
in this
Izzy
morning,
would
competing in the UFC's
say that
middleweight
it's
division,
hard. He roots for all his
Wellington
guys up, but
Turner.
doesn't get too
And
attached.
Izzy said he's going to be there for Carlos's fight. It's
Yeah.
the first prelim, so Izzy might be at the arena very early.
Here we go. We got Turman jumping on the scale, middleweight. Let's see what he weighs. Should have took off the underwear.
185.2, the official weight for Wellington Turman.
All right, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He walks forward, throws heavy hands, and tries to get the takedown. He recently left Brazil to come out here to Connecticut and train with Teixeira and
All
Pereira.
right, next athlete
So he
to
made
the
some
stage.
big
He will
changes.
kick off the pay-per-view main card live on ESPN Plus and the UFC.
Hello, my name is Claudio Puelles. I'm from Lima, Peru, fighting out of Florida. Hey Laura, I know you practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so let me know what submission you want me to catch Dan with tomorrow night.
That's good.
Oh man, calling his shot. What submission tomorrow? I mean, I would love to see another knee bar. Can
Oh,
you
my
imagine
goodness.
another knee bar?
Is that three of them?
155.2, the
anymore?
official
He
weight
does
for
all the
Claudio
freaking time.
Puelles.
Puelles
Three
is
of
that he's a specialist in that area, but it doesn't look desperate. You know how, like,
Yeah.
Ryan
Hall.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Ryan Hall wanted to
Yeah.
knee bar you, but it was
Yeah,
almost
you
desperation.
know it.
He's more of a heel hook guy, but
Yeah, but
keep going.
but he does that. He rolls for the legs and everything, but he never looks desperate.
Yeah.
All right, next
And that's
fighter
what
to
makes
weigh
him
in
so
in the
dangerous.
UFC's
He also
featherweight
got
division,
he does a good
Sungwoo
job
Choi.
in the stand-up also.
There's a 29-year-old South Korean looking to get back on track after losing a couple fights. He's tall for a featherweight at 6 feet, but so is Trezano at 5'11", so he's only going to have about a 1-inch height advantage. High-level striker, has a Muay Thai background, of course. Pretty effective off his back
145.6,
when
the
you
official
watch him
weight
fight.
for
Probably going to
Sungwoo
try to keep it
Choi.
on his feet with Trezano, who's definitely going to have the hometown advantage with this crowd, being from New Jersey, but Choi coming in as the minus 170
Hey, this
favorite.
kid's fight in Singapore was crazy. Who did he fight in Singapore?
All right, next fighter
I
to
don't
the
remember,
scale
but
it
will
was
be
nasty.
featured
They beat each other
prelim live
so
on
bad. It was like his
ESPN
UFC
News in the
debut, I
lightweight
believe.
division, Brad Riddell.
Speaking of nasty, I mean, if you are a fighter's fighter and you like to watch guys who go out and bring it every single time, then I have no doubt that you're a fan of Brad Riddell, because that's exactly what he brings. He is a sensational striker, ton of knockbats.
155.6.
But that's the biggest thing, is he's
the
action
official
belt. He
weight
kind of
for
said this
Brad
week, like,
Riddell.
I don't know if I want to have another war. You know, I've been in a lot of these wars. He spent some time training over at Bang Tao, which is kind of the another growing gym out there in Thailand. He's pumped. He's ready to go.
All right, next fighter to the scale.
Another
kicking off
city
the pay-per-view
kickboxing
main
guy.
card in the lightweight
Here we
division,
go,
12th
Dan
ranked.
Hooker.
Dan Hooker.
Coming off of 2 losses, but to some animals, Makachev and Arnold Allen, coming back up to 155.
155.8, the official weight for the Hangman,
And
Dan
he makes
Hooker.
it, even
good.
with the underwear on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good, man. This is a huge fight for him to get back into it.
I'm glad that he took some time off. He needed that time. Like, because through the pandemic, he was one of those guys that we watched a lot.
Yeah.
He was always there. He was always fighting. And
Thank you to Modelo, the official beer of the UFC, for bringing the weigh-in show to you today. You can scan the QR code or visit ordermodelo.com to shop Modelo delivery and pick up and grab a Modelo and enjoy today's show. Modelo, a golden Pilsner style lager that uses premium hops to give it a crisp taste. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. My favorite part about this read is that DC just stopped talking all of a sudden. God, that was magical.
And he's
Can we
got
do
that
a
look on his
Modelo read
face
every
again.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
the guy in my ear is like, rap, Dan Helly's insisting to drop his read right now. And I'm like, okay, I guess. Dan Helly's insisting that he does his read right now.
I mean, he is the host.
I know.
I'm glad you stopped talking.
I respect you, Dan.
Sometimes that can be questioned. Pineda hasn't weighed in yet. Should we be?
Not yet, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
At what
No.
point? Only 9 fighters left to weigh in, and it's
Yeah, but it's
What
only
did he weigh,
9:15,
bro? During
was
the
huge.
camp,
Remember,
he was like
225?
228
No,
or
no, no.
something?
He got up to
228?
236.
236.
The picture that he took with Dominic Reyes, his coach told me he was 236 in that picture, but
It was huge.
I don't remember. I had it written down. I had it written down
236
somewhere.
doesn't blow me away, but I think they said his body fat percentage was like 8%
yeah.
or 10%. Like, how do you?
But they gave me the number for what he was coming in at this week, and it was totally reasonable.
At
Oh,
the
really?
fighter
And I don't
meeting,
remember what
they
it
said-
was, but
I wonder
They
if they
said
lied.
that they weren't going to cut weight early on Thursday.
Yeah.
They're going to wait until the evening, and they just flush it all out
Yeah.
and put it back on. But the problem with the flush is it gets very hard
Yeah.
at the end, right? Because you're drained. You're going from like having a whole bunch of fluids to nothing.
Yeah.
And then, but this guy, I cut weight with this guy a few times,
Yeah.
and he would be in the hot tub, and it would just flush out. I don't know how you would do that.
It was never that easy. No, but like that's the thing is I start a little earlier usually on Thursday because if you wait till Thursday night, if for whatever reason it doesn't just flush out of you very quickly, there's a chance you're not making weight.
And your mind starts to slip by the night. On Thursday.
100. You usually wait till the last second,
Yeah.
right? You usually you're cutting like 20 pounds.
No,
in a
I was
couple
always
hours.
like, 8 pounds.
Chris
How many pounds?
Gutierrez coming in on a 7-fight
Yeah.
unbeaten streak, Senko.
a crazy streak for Chris Gutierrez coming into this fight.
136
And it's gotta
on the
be-
nose, the official weight for
136
Chris
is his weight. It's got to be an
Gutierrez.
interesting dynamic for him to be coming into this fight in New York, knowing that it's Frankie's retirement. You know, the mentality of that. He grew up watching Frankie. You know, he was a fan of Frankie, but you get the sense that he's really trying to treat this like it's just another fight. But that's
But
got to play.
He's
in
giving
your
a little attitude to Frankie at
Yeah.
the press
Yeah,
conference.
he
I don't
is.
like that,
Him and
man. You
Frankie,
can't mess
hey,
with Frankie.
Listen,
know.
This is
he
last
is not
night.
a fan of Frankie.
But I think he's
What
got
is
to
that?
do
Bro,
that for himself.
I
You
know,
can't-
but I'm not telling
you
y'all.
can't. You can't.
I don't care. I hate
Too
him
much-
now
Oh,
because
yeah, you
doing
might,
that.
but guess what?
Yeah.
He is not a fan of Frankie right now, and he's the first person that isn't.
That's
But
how Cheeto Vera kind of was. He was a little nasty to Frankie, and I didn't like that either, but it worked out for him.
I think
Still very
psychologically,
important.
he can't. Maybe for him, he can't come in and just be all respect and legend and I remember when he beat BJ Penn and like singing his
I get
praises,
it.
giving his laurels. He's got to be in that fighter
there's-
mentality of like I got to go
I
try to
want
kill
him
this guy and I'll
want
give him
to
his
be
laurels
like a
after.
sacrificial lamb. Just go out there and take the
I know.
loss.
I know.
Wow, Chris.
I know.
Just go out there and take the
I know.
loss, please.
You know what the
Yeah.
problem with that is, though? When you get a champion like that, if he goes out and he washes through this kid, what if he decides I want to keep going?
He's not
Can't
doing
do
it.
that.
I don't think he's doing it. That would be cheating. That's a lie. He wouldn't cheat. He's not a cheater.
Boy, you love Frankie Edgar, huh?
I love Frankie.
It's really off-putting.
How can you not?
He's the best, bro. He's got the best fade in the game. I mean,
His
that's
fade
why
is
I
nice.
have my hair looking
Can I be
like
honest
this.
with you? The reason your hair's like that is because you're balding.
Bro,
That's like the
bro.
first step. That's the first step before
You are
shaving it.
balding.
That's
That's
the
a fact.
first
You are
step.
bald. You're
That's the
straight
first
bald.
step before balding. Before
Bro, look
shaving.
at my hairline. It's
It's
perfect.
pretty strong.
I got
That's
gray
a strong
hair.
hairline,
It's like
Chris.
right here, bro.
Yeah, I got some
That's
cluster.
way
no,
back.
No, get out
Some
of there, bro.
scars.
What are you I got scars. That's
Oh, it's
Joe
going
Rome-
backwards. Look at
Bro,
his hairline.
That's Joe Romero's knee right there. Thanks for
You
bringing
got
that up.
that, you got that smiling
All right.
emoji on your forehead. Remember mine? That smiling emoji.
All right. By the way, I know something about receding hairlines. You're good, man. You're fine.
Did you get it fixed?
Nah, I just
He did.
I've had a big forehead for a long time, Chris. We don't know each other that well, but it's even ever since high school. It's been
No, you look
Thank you,
great.
guys.
You
Hey,
got
guys,
great
can we
hair.
get back
fishing
on
for
track?
compliments.
Morgan, obviously, something's wrong with his diet because his hair is just falling out. It's disgusting.
Hey, bro,
You're not
when
that old.
I used to have like a patch of hair in the middle that I would fade. It was bad.
I just buy my hair, so.
Yes, ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can do that.
Everyone in television does.
Let's talk this co-main. Another title fight, locked and loaded. Both fighters ready to go. First fight of Carla Esparza's second title reign, and the first time around, she said, I rushed to my first title defense too quickly. I wasn't ready. She took 6 months off this time. She's married now. She wore the belt in the wedding.
Yeah.
Kind of a different person. Is she a different fighter this time around?
I don't know that she's going to be a different fighter. Carla's always going to bring an insanely good wrestling game. Her striking has evolved so much since I remember watching her years ago in Invicta. She really has evolved a complete game, but the wrestling is always going to be the cornerstone of what she goes to. And not many women have that collegiate level experience. So it's a thing that makes her stand out in the division. So I don't expect her not to lean on it, but in terms of the mentality, when you talk about her getting married and wearing the belt, I definitely do get a sense that she's starting to own herself a little bit as a champion. Wear the belt in your wedding. You've got a husband now. And when I think back about what Carla has done, I know she's up against it with Zhang Weili. That's a very tough matchup for anybody. But it's not just the two of UFC belts. She was a champion in Invicta. I mean, this woman has been at the top of the game for so long, and she's worked so hard and quietly to be there.
And she gets no love at all.
That's
the fact that she was the inaugural strawweight champion 8 years ago, had tons of ups and downs, but found her way back 8 years later, became the champion, and she comes to MSG and she's getting booed like crazy.
That bummed me out to see that. I didn't.
I understand. If you watch her last fight, it's all right.
Sure.
That was probably one of the worst fights I've ever seen.
Boring.
Yeah,
but they didn't boo Derek Lewis in his next fight.
What's
When Derek Lewis had a stinker, they didn't boo him in his next fight.
But the memories of what he had done
post-fight
prior.
speeches are awesome.
That's true.
I
Makes up
mean,
for it.
she's got to
gonna talk
compensate.
about
Guys, you can't discuss Carla Esparza without having some cookies.
Oh, wow.
See, here's my cookie.
The cookie
That's
monster's
good enough
here.
for me.
Let's go.
Yeah, some cookies.
There was an option
you,
for a
Cookie
while where you
Monster.
could have your ways.
So
You
can
could
I
have
just
your
break a
ways
piece
with the
off?
Cookie Monster
This
voice.
is
I had that on all the time.
Levain
You're eating a
Bakery
whole cookie?
There you go.
that
Yeah. Carla
hooked us
Esparza.
up with the cookies.
Best fighter in
Oh
the
my
world.
gosh.
Locations all over New York City. These
Did you
look
already eat
legit.
half of one of these?
Cookie Monster never eats his own batch.
I don't take the full cookie.
Cookie Monster never gets high on his own supply.
You and I are twins, and
We got-
friends.
I
don't
wanna
wanna
keep
flip
my hair.
between
Just give me a little.
Yeah.
No. Whole one. Get the whole
Okay,
one.
so
Yeah.
Carla Esparza, for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming if you're watching the show, you know that her nickname
should know.
is the Cookie Monster.
Carla.
And Levain
Carla,
Bakery started by
Carla,
Pam Wicks and
Carla.
Connie
Oh my
McDonald back in
gosh.
1995.
This is so good.
It's so good. Wait, keep going. What were you
This
saying?
is so good.
Well,
Talking about the Levain Bakery, started by Pam Weeks and Connie McDonald, and they were triathletes trying to make baked goods to give them energy for races, and this is giving me energy right now.
I love it.
Wow. So this is healthy. This is just an
I'm gonna
energy
tell
booster.
myself
That's
that.
energy cookie.
It tastes
Like a
not
power
healthy,
bar.
but
Pretty good.
it
Pretty
is
good.
delicious.
We eat a lot.
Why do you stick your entire finger in your mouth?
We eat a lot on this show.
We do.
I love this show.
Other than that, you fast. You don't eat. Other than it's the show's fault.
All right, this is what, I'm sorry, I'm chewing right now, Michael Chandler called the people's main event. I mean, this is 100% going to be all gas, no brakes, these two dudes. It's going to be interesting. I cannot wait to see this fight. The entire main card, this fight's awesome. Dustin Poirier, I believe, is with us right now. And I know the Diamond is anxiously awaiting this fight. Dustin, welcome back onto the show, first of all.
Good to be here, man.
I can't wait for your fight. Anything different about your approach this one with Chandler for you?
Nah, this is war, man.
When you look at some of the chatter that, Chandler could potentially change some things up as opposed to just coming out and having a firefight, from the tip, do you expect him to change things up against you, or do you expect to see the same Michael Chandler that we've seen in the UFC?
You never know, man. he might wrestle a little bit, but we'll see. We're ready for whatever, man. It's a mixed martial arts fight, so I've been prepared for years to go anywhere.
DP, man, we're looking at some of your highlights right now and how you've put so many people out over the course of your career. It's been a year. How hungry are you to get back into the octagon, Dustin? Because I know you, and I know that you're a guy that loves to be consistent in the fighting. How excited are you to get back in the octagon tomorrow night?
I'm super excited, man. This whole week I've just been taking everything and being in the moment and just embracing all the feelings that come along with fight week. Just happy to be here, man, to be at the press conference and inhale that air inside the Madison Square Garden Arena. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Madison Square, man, it just adds something different to a fight that's already got a lot of heat on it and hype on it. But DP, you've been a player in this weight class for a really long time. Do you have to make a statement in this fight tomorrow night by knocking Michael Chandler out, putting him out, or being impressive in order to put yourself right back in the driver's seat for a championship fight? Or is this something that you're not even really thinking about right now?
I'm just going in there to perform. If I fight to my abilities, it will be a statement. But I'm going in there to get my hand raised. However, I need to do that. You know what I mean?
The fact that, hey, what's up, Poirier? It's Weidman here.
What's up, bro?
Chilling. The fact that Oliveira lost recently, now you got Makhachev as champion, so more likely, you know, that the winner of this fight is going to be fighting for the belt. Does that change anything in your mind going into this fight?
I try not to look too far ahead. You know, my hands are full here tomorrow night, but it definitely opens some doors. You know, it's a new anytime the title switch hands, it's new matchups in the division that can be made. You know, that's not rematches. That's interesting for the fans, for the organization. So we'll see. I definitely think it opens doors, not for me, just for me, but for all of us, for Chandler, for Gaethje, for everyone who's in the top.
We know Chandler, you know, he goes out there to be a crowd pleaser, but he also has those wrestling accolades. Do you think in this fight, I mean, are you expected, and did you train for it, for the like a full wrestling match in there?
Yeah, I think he's going to wrestle a lot. He covers so much distance with those big punches. He doesn't have the best footwork, so he uses athletic abilities to make up for it and covers distance with explosive movements. And I think he's going to throw big punches to cover distance and try to get around my legs and hips.
Gotcha.
Dustin, when you hear Michael Chandler say things like, I want it more than him, and he knows that, what does that tell you about Chandler's mindset coming to this fight?
It doesn't matter, man. That's all noise. We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow night. He got 15 minutes to prove it to me.
More than anything we have talked about, I want to congratulate you on Poirier's Louisiana-style hot sauce becoming the official hot sauce sponsor of the UFC. That is a smart man right there. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a few months in the works, but we got it done.
So I do have to know the truth to this. Chandler, you sent Chandler some hot sauce. He tried to be funny and threw it away. He really did keep it, right?
I didn't send him shit. He bought that.
DP, you didn't give him no hot sauce, DP?
Hell no, he'll get it tomorrow night.
He's gonna get that hot sauce. Dustin, how many people from Lafayette?
And he paid. He didn't even get the promo code. He didn't even get the swipe up, save 10%.
You gave him the free. Hey, when you saw his address pop up, address pop up, you gave him the retail price. Or actually, the upsell price. Dustin, how many people from Lafayette coming, dog? Like, how many people from home coming to watch? I know the city normally shows out to support you very well as you become such a pillar of the community.
Look up in the stands when I make that walk and look at those Acadiana flags waving, baby.
Hey,
you're going to see them all over, I promise you.
That's my boy right there. You know those Acadiana flags. This is a nice flag, too.
Louisiana,
nice.
guys.
Flag.
Hey, Diamond, thanks for joining us, man. Good luck tomorrow night. Can't wait to see you fight Chandler.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to get in there.
You look like Claudio Puelles right now. He lost all that weight. Him and Claudio Puelles look like they're brothers.
You got your notes on Claudio?
I got my notes on Claudio Puelles. He looked like Claudio Puelles.
That's amazing. You look good. Good tan.
He is Dustin Poirier taking on Michael Chandler. It is going to be nonstop from start to finish. Take a look at this.
The body of work that I've put in under the UFC banner has been a crazy up and down ride.
Oh, big left and now a right. Oh my God. Knockdown Poirier. Dustin Poirier has knocked out Conor McGregor.
Highs to the highs, lowest to the lows. I love it all. I'm grateful for it all. There's definitely been a lot of curveballs in my career for sure, but I've always been able to get it back on track, put myself in the right fights, perform the way I need to, and learn from mistakes.
Dustin Poirier is a certified UFC legend. In all likelihood, his future is in the UFC Hall of Fame.
And I'm just building off of that, using that momentum into future fights, trying to be a better fighter every day. You know, just growing up, being a man. One thing about my career is I've never lost 2 fights in a row, and coming off of this last fight, it sucks to lose. But whenever you don't fight for 11 months between a loss, and you have to sit on that L and think about it and try to reinvent yourself, the best way for me in my career is to get back in there after a fight that you lose, put on a better performance, pick yourself back up, get back in the win column, and keep the ball rolling. I'm at the point in my career where I'm only fighting what I personally think is the right fight. We're not cherry-picking fights. You know, I want the tough fights. Michael Chandler's a very tough fight.
He's such a uniquely explosive individual. The consequences of him landing on you are so extreme.
Oh! Big knockdown for Michael Chandler!
Oh, it's over!
Michael Chandler!
Oh, my goodness!
Coming in and just signed a little over 2 years ago. It seems like we've done a lot more in 2 years than I anticipated. I do think I've come into the UFC and in a very short amount of time, I made good on my promises. I made good on my word.
Michael Chandler not only entertains with the way he looks, Michael Chandler's fighting style has been so fun to watch.
When you talk about fighting Dustin Poirier, you have to be ready for what Dustin brings to the table. The fight's extremely hard. He is extremely talented. I just need to be in the best shape of my life. I need to be mentally sharp, physically sharp. I know how to put in the work, and I know how to mentally and physically prepare for a fight. I'm going to go out there and put on a show for the fans.
Oh! Out cold! That'll do it, Michael Chandler!
The whole thing with me and Mike is I saw him in person. I wanted to tell him what I thought about him after some recent interviews he did.
This don't look like two dudes that have no personal issues.
He can feel however he wants to feel. This is fighting. I don't care. The road ends on November 12th at Madison Square Garden.
This fight makes sense now. The guy's had a few fights in the organization. He's coming off of a knockout of the year against Tony Ferguson. I think I'm better than Chandler in a lot of areas. This is another fight where I'm going to be the matador. You know, I'll show you.
Dustin Poirier by knockout!
I think I defeat Poirier by going out there, keeping my foot on the gas, being smart and sharp, composed and confident, being disciplined with my defense, mix everything up, keep him guessing, never let him get really started, and wear him down and finish him. I see this fight playing out by me being patient, picking my shots, and putting Michael Chandler away. Dustin is a tough guy to finish. I think I have the speed and the power to be able to do it.
I'll never quit here. I'll die in here. This is what I do. I live for this. Dustin Poirier, your time is coming. See you at the top.
Can't wait for that one. Andre Petroski, undefeated in the UFC at 3-0.
You look at Petroski, he carries a lot of muscle, right? So at times in a long fight, 185.8, you look at guys like this, and at times you see them fatigue. Petroski's done a big change to his strength and conditioning. Said he doesn't lift weights as much anymore because he shifted the focus to speed and agility and cardio to try to be in shape for the longer fight that he anticipates having very soon.
Chasing greatness is Israel Adesanya. 12 wins, the longest winning streak in UFC middleweight history, belonging to the great Anderson Silva. And I know Israel says that he doesn't pay attention to this kind of stuff, but we do. That's our job, and he's getting close.
And I know who beat Anderson.
The champ is joining us now. Izzy, thanks for being with us once again, my friend.
Thanks for having me. And you're right, I don't chase. I only found out about this yesterday, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's very cool, and also very cool what's coming up tomorrow night. You get another shot at Alex Pereira. Obviously, a lot of history here between the two of you. Any more personal, any different than any of your last 4 or 5 fights?
Definitely, it is because of our history. But that is history, and now it's time to rewrite history.
He's only gone the distance 1 time in 7 MMA fights. Do you think that's going to be a factor on Saturday night?
Yes, it will be, but I'm not really paying attention to any of that. Right now, the work's done. I've made weight. We'll do the ceremonials. I'll say my last few words, and then, yeah, tomorrow night, that's when we'll shine.
Izzy, this week when you were describing what this win would mean to you, you used the word legacy a lot. But I wonder specifically, like, what part of your legacy would beating Alex mean to you?
That's an in-depth question, and I use legacy as a I don't know if I overuse it, but yeah, everything I do, not just fighting-wise, is for my legacy, for my family, for my future family. And just carrying that name proudly, my last name, because I wanted to echo through the world with some kind of substance. And it does. The last name Adesanya now is a name that when it's said, it holds a lot of weight. So, yeah, this fight itself, it's just what I do. I take people out, and this will be no different come tomorrow night.
You take people out, and you have an absolute army rolling in with you. I mean, it is crazy how big your crew has been coming into this fight week. What has it been like to have, 4 people on this card, all of your teammates, your coaches, and everybody in that house? I mean, the vibe just seems awesome.
It's unmatched. It's beautiful. I can't even wait for the team dinner tonight. It's going to be on some mob shit, out in the woods. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be beautiful.
What's going on at Adesanya's, Weidman? Is the big
Hey,
X
what's up,
factor?
man?
I'm chilling. Is the big X factor in this fight cardio? Because I watched one of his MMA fights. It looked like he got super tired. The one that he lost. The fights that you fought him in kickboxing, it looked like he slowed down as the rounds went on. Is that something that people aren't really talking about that you're excited to take advantage of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. And also this fight with Bruno Silva, I was watching that, and when he couldn't put Bruno away, you can kind of see he stayed in there. He wasn't really – he slowed down, but he stayed in there, and Bruno was still able to come back. But, again, I don't fight like these other guys he's fought. And I've said this before. This is ad nauseum. And also, it's different. This is MSG. I mean, when you're under the bright lights, a show like this, and you're fighting me, yeah. I mean, he's beat me twice, right? What if I beat him? That's playing on his mind because he knows what I did to him last time. But, again, let me know, hey, he's got bragging rights, so let him talk all this shit he wants. My time will soon come.
I mean, he's super powerful. He's explosive. He has knockout power. But with the small gloves on compared to kickboxing, is it more of a benefit for you, do you think? Because you were definitely tagging him more in those kickboxing fights. And with the small ounce
smart
gloves.
man, Weidman.
Well, thank you,
smart
sir.
man, yes, sir. Round 2, I mean, like I said, I would have had him out of there, but I didn't stay true to my style. I was younger then. I let some shit influence me, and I was just like trying to get him out of there, and literally just right hands.
Yeah.
So it was stupid of me. I don't fight like that. But yeah, just honestly, this is different. And I watched the first fight as well. I watched the highlights, and I was hitting him from some angles. I was literally cutting angles with him, hitting him clean, and he's walking through them. But again, that was back then. This is now.
Champ,
Yeah, look at this highlight. Look at the highlights on this. Look at the angles I got on him. Like, he's getting me on these highlights and these bits.
They put all him hitting you, dog.
Y'all ain't slick. Y'all ain't slick on that one. Y'all ain't slick. Y'all ain't slick on that one. ESPN, fuck you for that. Fuck you, Mickey.
Hey, Champ, I was like, damn, did Izzy hit him at all?
I was trying to say some. Yeah, you see, that's. Well, hey, don't worry, that's Fugazi. That's Fugazi. Let them do what they want. Yeah, and this is the TikTok era. This is what I'm talking about. People will watch that and believe that shit. So it's cool. Let them watch that. So yeah, enjoy that one too.
Hey, Champ, let me ask you this question though. Senko was saying earlier that Pereira's coach said that when you guys fought in kickboxing, you had about 100 fights. He had 20. This is the least experienced version of Alex that you would ever have seen in a fight. How much have you seen him grow? Because I'm pretty sure you watched him continue down the kickboxing path after you already becoming the champion in the UFC.
That's a lie. I didn't have up 100 fights when I fought him. That's a lie. I would have been about 50, 60 fights, about maybe 50 fights deep by then.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't matter. I was schooling him, and then I made an error of judgment in the second fight, and I got caught. First fight, I felt I won the fight. A lot of people, even he knew I won the fight because you see our hands being raised.
Y'all look surprised. He looked surprised. Both of y'all look surprised.
I was just like, well, exactly. So we both know. We both knew. But it's okay. That was then. And the highlights are the highlights. Wait till tomorrow. I'll give you a new highlight.
Hey. So Izzy, is this the time frame in which you expected this guy to be here? Because it seems fast. Do you think that he's here because of only those kickboxing matches, and his resume really doesn't warrant a chance? Because the last guy to rush to a title as fast as he has is you. Because a year in, you were the champ.
Who did I fight? Who did I fight though?
You fought Brunson. You fought a whole bunch of dudes.
Exactly. Tavares, all top 10 guys from my third fight. All top 10 guys. They gave him an easy top 5 guy who I've already said is easy work. And I called it. I said, focus on your guy because he's going to knock you out. And what did he do? Slept him. But yeah, his run to the title is not even close to my run to the title. Yeah, and he's only here because of me because I've already cleared out the division. I found out another stat yesterday. I beat this guy. That's me clearing out the top 6 in the middleweights. Yeah, that's a cool thing to know, cool fact. But again, I don't chase these things; they chase me just because I keep beating them.
You know, you are building a resume as one of the greatest middleweights of all time, greatest fighters of all time, and it's nice of you, Izzy, to wear the 3rd greatest combat athlete shirt on this interview. You know, I think 3rd greatest combat athlete of all time. Yeah, he's
Put him 3rd. That's another discussion.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Izzy, Pineda hasn't weighed in yet. He's a big dude. Does that concern you at all that he's having some issues, potentially?
Nah, I'm a big dude too. I mean, normally I'm coming in at 183, but I'm telling you, man, this camp was different.
It looked like you were hurting a little bit. Were you really hurting, or were you messing around up there, getting on the scale?
I hurt? Nah, I mean, let's work, whatever. But I'm fine. I'm fine. I can rehydrate very well, and you'll all see tomorrow.
Well, you're certainly one of the most active guests we've had on the weigh-in show in terms of smiling and great answers. And
I want to give him one more stat.
Give it to him.
You know another stat? They said that since you became champion, or since 2020, you've headlined 20% of the UFC's pay-per-views. That's a workhorse. So when they said that you headlined 1 in 5 of the UFC's pay-per-views, that's one of the stats you should be most proud of, my friend, because that's a tremendous stat. Pat yourself on the back.
As a champion, this is my 3rd fight in 10 months, I believe. Who else is doing that apart from me and Alexander Volkanovski? We are trying to stay active. And you got to understand, DC, you know this. Chris, you know this. As a champion, when you fight, each time you risk everything. And a lot of these champions won't do that. A lot of these champions, you hold the belt. Maybe I'll fight once, get past this guy. Let me chill for a little bit. I'll fight in 7 months or whatever. Nah, man. This is a short window. This is a great opportunity. I'm in this right now, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm learning so much. You guys are really going to enjoy this fight. Trust me. I'm learning so much about myself, and I'm elevating my game in different ways. I'm making so much money at the level I'm at right now. Why wouldn't I fucking maximize that? Why wouldn't I maximize that? Why wouldn't I fight as much as I can? You'd be surprised. I smoked this guy, and maybe even, I don't want to, not Perth. That's Alex's time, but we'll see. End of the year, there might be a short notice, and boom, I'll be back again. But, hey, I'm just doing my thing, and when I'm gone, you will appreciate me more.
Israel Adesanya working hard for the money, intelligent, entertaining. Izzy, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you all. I appreciate you all.
Good luck.
He is the headliner. He is the champ. And this is Karolina Kowalkiewicz stepping to the scale.
Yeah, and what a year Karolina Kowalkiewicz has had. I mean, she is coming off a massive win for her. She was on that, just a really rough streak. There's no bones about it. To come out last time, to get the finish against Felice Herrig, she seems to be in a very different
115.6,
115.6, a very different mind space for her.
Kowalkiewicz.
She picked up everything, moved from Poland, training at ATT, and she really feels like this is a fresh start for her.
Is this her first time going to ATT for a fight camp? Or?
The last one, the last win was also at ATT, but you settle in now, and she's created such a strong relationship with Coach Pahumpa, in particular, working on her jiu-jitsu. So, and then having Joanna down there, I feel like people forget how good she is. Like, she fought Joanna to a decision.
Yeah.
She was a title challenger. She beat Rose Namajunas. Didn't she beat her twice? Anyway.
I want to go back to our
Man, this guy's rude.
we have Carla Esparza. I mean, it's nice to talk to back-to-back champs.
The Cookie Monster. Where those cookies at?
Carla, you look great. I'm assuming you sound great. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I think that's pretty accurate. Always good after weigh-ins. It's the best drink you can have, in the world.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the show. This is the second time around as the champ for you. What is different this time?
So much is different, right? The sport's evolved, and I've evolved with it. And, now I'm like a veteran in the UFC as opposed to just being this bright-eyed new kid in the UFC. So it's definitely a different experience and feels great.
Do you get more motivated by the fan reaction during the press conferences? Because I saw that and I'm like, it just bummed me out. I can only imagine, when you're hearing that, is it motivational?
I wouldn't say it's motivational. I would just say it doesn't faze me. Just like when I walk in the cage, I don't hear anything. I'm so laser focused on what I have in front of me. I mean, if they were cheering or if they were booing, it wouldn't make a difference to me.
Carla, what's going on? It's Chris Weidman here, and I'm eating a cookie right now thanks to you. Just in your honor.
They gotta sell cookies.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's so good. Thank you. So you literally have created a movie with your performances. 8 years ago, you won the inaugural Strawweight Championship. 8 years later, through ups and downs, you fought your way back, became the champion yet again, and still people aren't believing in you. What do you feel like you have to do to get some credit?
I think definitely getting a devastating finish in this fight over an opponent like Weili would really kind of solidify that and kind of silence the doubters. But I'm sure, going into my next fight, I'd still be the underdog. So I'm okay with that. Doesn't really change things for me.
Your last fight with Rose wasn't, the most exciting fight, but you got the job done. Do you think that's a big part of why people are hating on you right now?
It could be. I mean, haters aren't anything new in my life. So that could be part of it. Weili has a really big fan base. And I've not really put a lot of focus into my social media over the years. I just, it's a plus and a negative, but for me, it's just always been a love of the sport and not so much about everything else, which, who knows what that, has done for me. But at the end of the day, I'm in here to fight and I love what I do.
Carla, it's Cookie Monster. Carla, I need to know. Hey, Carla, it's Cookie DC.
Awesome.
Listen, so you've influenced the show. You may say you might not get the love, but look, this bakery sent us these because of the Cookie Monster, and I got my Cookie Monster hat today. But listen to me, Carla. How much can you take from Rose Namajunas having wrestling success against Zhang Weili and apply that yourself in the fight tomorrow night?
I mean, I think I have the best wrestling in the division. I have the record for the most takedowns out of all of the women. There's nobody that I haven't been able to take down, and I don't think Weili is going to be the first, to defend my takedowns. So I just think that my experience with wrestling is just going to, make the difference for me.
Carla, you said that when you first defended your championship, you rushed. You needed more time. How much have you developed from that fight in Arizona to now, not in terms of skills, I'm talking mentally, to go out there as the champion and fight in the way that you have fought on this long win streak to recapture that championship?
I feel like whenever I've had a good amount of time to kind of settle in and have a little time off in between fights, that's when I've had my biggest improvements. And I actually had a lot of improvements that I was excited to show in the fight with Rose that unfortunately didn't come about. But it's great for me because hopefully I can, just bring all of what I was training in the fight for Rose in all that time, and then everything I've been training since then. I'm hoping I can bring that into the octagon on Saturday.
Hey, Carla, this week I saw that picture that was posted of the old UFC belt, the new UFC belt, and the Invicta belt, all three on your shoulders at the same time. When you look at that picture, what does that mean to you?
I mean, that's literally my life's work. I mean, everything that I've done, all of the ups and the downs, and there's so much history behind that for me. And then just, being a part of that story on the women's MMA, history is just really cool.
You're a big part of that history for sure. And one of the things that has always stuck out to me about you is your unflappable mindset. I think I said earlier, you look like you're about to do your taxes when you're, standing in the octagon. You're so clear-minded, so focused. What allows you to be so level and calm in these big moments? And when people are booing you, what allows you to block all that out?
It's hard to say. I mean, I really am just so focused on what's in front of me. You know, I tune everything out, and it's like it's just the way I've always been since I've been wrestling and in high school and college. You know, it's just when it's game time, I just have like this focus on what's in front of me, and I'm like a horse with blinders on. I don't see anything or hear anything else.
Carla Esparza, the women's strawweight champ, part of the co-main event, taking on Zhang Wei Li on Saturday here at Madison Square Garden, New York City. Carla, good luck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Certainly some
Ladies
motivation.
After 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. The winner by split decision, and
I've definitely solidified my spot in the history books by becoming a 2-time UFC champion. I mean, I was definitely already kind of in there, you know, being there at the beginning of the division of the UFC.
Carla Esparza, the inaugural UFC strawweight champion.
But this sport has evolved so much, you know, especially on the women's side over these last 8 years. And I think that, you know, still being at the top of it just kind of shows I've evolved with the division.
Carla Esparza's overall fight IQ increased, her striking increased. She's developed a full overall well-rounded game. And if she can get to that top position, she is nasty.
Oh, that's gonna do it. Carla Esparza.
我觉得卡拉跟 Rose 的比赛怎么说呢？可能顾忌的太多了，可能怕把脸打花呀。我觉得冠军的心态就是无所顾忌。对我来说，就是你不要在意输赢，你不要在意是怕打花脸、怕受伤，什么都不要去想，只是想把最好的自己展现出来给观众看。
She's going to grab you, she's going to overpower you, she's going to hurt you.
因为在我跟 Joanna 打之前，Dana White 就说，如果谁赢了这场比赛，就会挑战冠军。所以这次比赛的时候，我就是想要赢，而且我是想要碾压。
Spinning back fist, floors the Jacek, and that'll do it. Zhang Wei Li.
Wei Li is the former champion. She's been at the top of this division as well. She's a great fighter, but I have the best wrestling in the strawweight division.
I've been able to take down everybody I've fought in my whole career, so I don't doubt that I can get her down at some point. You know, really like push my ground and pound and go for the finish.
卡拉呢，她从很小就开始练习摔跤，而且她的摔跤水平在 UFC 也是挺高的，也特别想检验一下我的摔跤和柔术地面，因为我也练了很多。
There's a tap. Wow! What a victory there for Wei Li.
All the work is done. All I can do is just find those weaknesses, find those holes.
And I want to show I am still the best strawweight in the world.
我觉得没有什么让我担心的，我就是想着做好自己，然后做好每一天。
Zhang Wei Li has her down.
And new.
All right, you heard Carla talk about her strength being wrestling, the best in the division, and she is. She's really good. But then you have Zhang Wei Li, who's training with the Hickman brothers and is really focused on wrestling going into this one. As powerful, as athletic as she is, that's a dangerous combination.
It is, and that was a really smart move for her to go out there because the Hickman brothers are some of the best wrestling coaches for MMA that you're going to find in that part of the world. And to go up against a folk-style wrestler like Carla, like there's certain nuances to different styles, and they know exactly the type of style that Carla has come up through for probably a couple decades. I can't remember when she started wrestling, but for Zhang Wei Li to go out there and really get a handle of what she's going to be facing, huge. I mean, that's the key to her winning this fight in my mind.
And this is also her first time ever fighting a wrestler in the cage, and she's fighting one of the best in the game at wrestling. So it's going to be really interesting to see how she's able to deal with that. And Carla Esparza on the other side she's coming off such a lackluster win, even though it was for a championship against a stud like Rose. Just a lot of naysayers, people aren't believing in her. So does she just want to wrestle and be stuck in the guard and have a boring performance, or does she feel like she has to do more and she puts herself in danger on the way through it?
Carla has said this publicly. She has said, I've seen Zhang Wei Li. I've fought a lot of people like her. She's never fought a wrestler of this caliber, and she finds comfort in knowing that when the fight got tough, Rose Namajunas was able to win that fight based on takedowns. And Zhang Weili was training with the Hickman brothers, with Henry Cejudo, with Captain Eric, all in preparation for Rose Namajunas, and she still secured takedowns. That is where Carla Esparza finds comfort knowing. I also believe, though, that if you take Zhang Weili and put her in some wrestling shoes and her wrestle Carla Esparza, and she may not win, it would be pretty competitive because her athletic ability would allow for her to compete enough to not get washed out of the wrestling match. I just think that she's that phenomenal athlete. She's that tremendous. She's so gifted that she can do just about anything. And I think that if you put him in wrestling shoes, she would do okay against Esparza.
I think she's strong enough and athletic enough, but how long can she do that? This is a 25-minute fight. Can she hold up?
But that's the thing, right? 25 minutes is a long time. But we've seen when Carla tries to wrestle for 25 minutes, she starts to get desperate. And that happened in the Young Jacek fight. When she couldn't get takedowns, she got desperate. Carla's best whenever she's striking just enough and then letting the takedowns come
to her. Yeah.
Yeah, when she starts to rush and force takedowns, she's like overextending, she's bent over at the waist, she's reaching.
Yeah, she starts panicking.
She starts to panic wrestle, and that never suits her well.
When you sit back and think about it, and this is something, I don't know, I think about a lot for women's MMA, the athletic spectrum for women is much smaller than it is for men. The best athletic woman, very few can dunk a basketball, for instance, right? So the best athletes are not that far apart from the ones who you would not consider to be the best athletes. In men, the spread gets much bigger. So when you are a true athletic woman, like we know Zhang Weili is, it's not just an advantage. It makes much more parity in these divisions, particularly when you're dealing with strawweight, flyweight, atomweight, whatever it is. Natural athleticism goes a long, long way in those divisions.
That's interesting. I never really thought about it that way in terms of the athletic, most athletic females. As we go back to the weigh-in stage, Julio Arce from Queens.
Oh yeah.
Now he's 5-3 in the UFC. Obviously he's from New York, but he's 0-2 at MSG.
Yeah, he's a talented guy, man. I watched him come up and through the rankings.
135.8, the official weight for Julio Arce.
He was happy.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Ring of Combat champion, always very talented, well-rounded, but striking is definitely his forte. And I'm excited to see him get back on the win board.
Dominic Reyes.
And here's Dominic Reyes.
My boy Dominic Reyes. I don't know if I cursed him or John Jones cursed him, but, you know, his last win was against me. You know, I was in there for about a minute and a half with him, and that was it. And then he went to fight John Jones. And I thought he won that fight. It was a 5-round split decision loss. And then since that loss, you know, you lose something like that. It's so close against one of the greatest that do the sport.
Reyes.
He loses by two knockouts, vicious knockouts in a row. That's 3 losses in a row now.
Yan Yuri and
Jones.
And Jones, like that's 3 champions back to back.
Yeah, but it's also, what did it do
what's it do to your head?
When he loses to Jones so close, but now he's got to fight his way back to get that opportunity, and then he loses his first fight.
I like that he's taking
2 dudes that are champions now.
I'm not saying they're bad losses, but it sucks. I mean, he could have been the champion that night against Jones.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about like looking back, like, man, you got kind of a bad decision.
How did he go into that next fight when he got knocked out by Blachowicz is my question. Yeah. You know, did it mess him up?
Well,
obviously something messed up.
It really don't matter how he went into it. You know how it ended, you know? So, like, it didn't matter what the mindset was.
The only man to ever knock out Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, who is facing him tomorrow night, has yet to weigh in. One of 4. So the level of concern.
Now we're a little nervous.
It's a 2. Yeah. Like it's going from a 1 to like a 2.5, 3 now.
I'm gonna try to look at my notes. What they said he weighed this.
And here's the problem. Unless the commission says he's dying, and then they have to, the fight stops.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, he's still fighting. He might have to lose some money. That's where my head's at.
Well, here's the difference.
You just spit?
I did. I had a piece of cookie in the side of my mouth. I took it with my tongue. Yep.
So I can tell you this about Pereira. He's very close, about half a pound. There's no real concern right now from the UFC.
So you just tried to get us all nervous. Plus, he's probably not going because he understands you can only step on the scale 1 time for some reason.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you're on weight.
Right.
He's gonna be naked.
He has an hour to re-weigh in. It's not gonna.
Boy, I swear, New York, man. The weigh-ins in New York are a little bit different.
You don't like them? But it would have been tougher for you to kind of grab that tail here. Huh?
No, all the rules have changed. I would not want to weigh in here again because then
It was New York, by the way.
It was
in Buffalo. It's not kind of New York.
Here's the question, and as the people in our ears are talking to us, where is Alex Pereira? Because that makes a difference, because the weigh-ins now are here at live from Radio City Music Hall.
No, they're not here. They're at the hotel. They're at the hotel.
At the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it still can get hot. He can still get hot. Because if it's somewhere where it ain't hot, it's a problem if you got to lose a half a pound.
If you're traveling, you're going in the bus.
Yeah, going in the car to back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought the weigh-ins were here. I saw him setting up the scale earlier. But yes, if he's still at the hotel, then he still can be in his room. He can still be warm. He can still get in the tub. He can still do the things necessary. The worst is when you go to like a wrestling tournament and you get on the scale like 0.2 over, and then it's like freezing in the gym.
Yeah,
and you got to put your stuff. You're done.
It's like a half an hour now.
You run for no reason because you're not making weight.
Sprint. You stack up with clothes if you have enough clothes at that point. If you're prepared,
you start looking for the nearest towel.
Once you sweat, once you glaze, and there's a little bit of glaze on you, that's about 0.2. Right. So you just need to break that sweat.
But glaze, when I like that term.
When you're cutting that much weight, there might not be that left inside.
That might not be a left.
And he cuts a lot of weight. It doesn't matter how much time he has. If it's 0.5 and he has to get that off, there's a chance he can't do that.
He's had some absolute wars, Gastelum being one of those. But the last, no doubt that, hey,
under the bridge.
What are you doing? You have your own conversation.
I was telling Chris that I played basketball there, where that shot was, under the bridge.
How bad are you at
I
basketball,
had an unbelievable transition going from Modelo to Israel Adesanya.
It was art.
And talking about all these decisions that he's had. 4 straight decisions, right? Not the most fan-pleasing. Now, not our decisions. Decisions aren't always bad. Like, he's had some wars, right? He's had some absolute wars, Gastelum being one of those. But the last 4, maybe not the most fan-friendly. Is that something he should be worried at all about in terms of, hey, I want to go out there, have an exciting fight, or just keep getting W's and his legacy keeps getting greater and greater?
No, it's not on the champion to fight for anyone other than himself. You said it earlier, Chris. There's so much at stake, or maybe it was Izzy that said it. There's so much at stake for these champions. I don't think people fully appreciate the difference between being a #1 contender and actually being the champ. He has developed a style that I think is so effortless looking that people want to disrespect it because it doesn't look like he's trying that hard. And he can make people look silly by just playing his game. But when they come to him, man, he's got that too. So like, to me, I think you drown out the noise. You don't worry about the fans. I'm a fan. I love exciting fights, but if I'm Izzy, screw it.
And I mean, it's not exciting for just a random fan, but for people who are super into the sport, he's an awesome counter striker.
Oh,
so all those fights, it was chess games, and he's kind of like an Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, if he was fighting a guy who was coming at him, I mean, he's knocking them out. He had some of the best knockouts that way. If he was fighting a guy that he had to be a little bit more careful with, he had these crazy, boring fights, and there was a lot of backlash. But at the end of the day, you just keep checking off those marks, and you keep getting those W's, and that's all that Izzy cares about. He would love to get a knockout, but it just has to be there. It has to present itself.
GSP got called boring for a while. I mean, we're talking about 3 of the greatest guys that have ever done this sport.
Forever.
I mean,
until Bisping jumped in
and who cares, right? Like, we don't talk. That's not a big part of GSP's legend or legacy now. It's not going to be part of Izzy's legacy in the future.
You know, if you want a chance with Izzy, for the most part, you got to be okay with the boring fight. I know we repeat this every time he goes out there, but even Jared Cannonier, we talked about if Jared Cannonier wants a chance to win, he can't overextend himself. And he did. Unfortunately, we had 2 fights that looked like that, where Carla Esparza and Rose did, and she won, Izzy, and it wasn't, the decision went to the champion, but like, he didn't do much. And when you don't do much, Izzy doesn't do much because he's such a great counter striker. But the reality is this, and I asked Dana this yesterday, we were talking, I said, are we gonna get a fight where we have 2 unbelievable counter guys and they kind of taking pictures of each other? He goes, I don't feel we're getting that. He goes, because the bad blood is too great. He goes, sure, that's their fighting style, but they're both so into this matchup and there's so much to prove between the 2 that we're gonna get an explosive fight. But my whole question is, who's going to be the one to lead? Who's going to go first? Because there's so much danger coming from the opposite direction on both sides in terms of countering.
I don't see Pereira as like just a counter striker, though.
Bro, he's such a great.
Forward,
watch his kickboxing stuff, bro. He's such a counter guy.
His right hand, left hook. I mean, he lunges in there.
And that, and when he hit Izzy with that in that fight, that was one of the first times that he actually extended and committed fully.
Combination.
Yeah, he didn't generally do that. But, dude, and even the Strickland fight, right? He's like jab, kick, jab, kick, jab, kick. And then Sean started to kind of plod towards him, and he hit him with that leaping left hook. Dude's nasty.
Did you see his sister fight? Anybody see his sister fight? Pereira's sister?
No, but I wanted to.
It is Pereira.
Really?
Huge right hand.
I heard
Finishes
she's
with
nasty.
a crazy
It's
left
a nasty
hook,
combination.
knocking girls out. It was, yeah,
So
basically identical.
Before we play our hot or not game, I have one question when it comes to these two. What is it you think Izzy? He keeps saying he knows something that there's going to be a surprise, or he knows something.
Nobody knew. I mean,
is he just playing mind games, or do you think there's a hole in Pereira that he sees that we're not seeing?
Pereira said something
maybe the cardio. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe the cardio. Maybe the cardio.
I mean, that longer the fight goes. I mean, there was that one fight when. Did you guys watch Pereira's fight when he actually lost in MMA?
Yes.
He lost to a guy who wasn't very good.
That was a long time ago.
He lost I know it was a long time ago.
You
But you look at the chinks in the armor. You're not looking at his knockouts if you're fighting him. You know,
you also got to take into effect the difference in the training now with Glover and them, and feeling that grappling. Glover's going to push him in terms of grappling that will push that cardio a little bit more. Who's going to wrestle?
Here's DC.
Somebody's going to have to wrestle tomorrow.
He's only been training.
It's going to be weird.
He's only been training MMA, Alex, like fully training just MMA since his LFA fight. That's only 2 years. So
it's a little less than 2 years.
It's a little less than 2 years. I mean, he had been fighting MMA, he'd been training, but like they told me he had never fully dedicated himself to MMA until around 2 years ago.
But how long has
which tells
Izzy
me he's
been?
not going to
How
wrestle.
long's Izzy been? He said Alex.
Not that much longer, like 4
that's what I'm
years
saying.
maybe?
Like Alex believes that he can out wrestle Izzy technically, but in terms of shooting desperately, that would come from the Adesanya side.
I mean, he's at the right camp to be picking up the grappling skills.
Glover and those guys, but it's
Pereira's
also like
strong enough
they don't
to
fight
throw him around.
He can
I
just
think.
grab him.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be technical, right?
But his
Like, you just
cardio is
grab
going
him.
to be an issue, I think.
Cardio if he wrestles too
If he
much.
wrestles,
It's too unfamiliar.
That's what I mean. Like when you've only been doing MMA for 2 years and your predominant art is one specific thing, then you try to introduce this other thing, your gas will not hold up. If you're a grappler that tries to strike or a striker that tries to grapple,
I
it
hate to
doesn't
be
work.
this guy. I hate to be this guy that's kind of going against everything you guys said. Actually, I don't hate to be this guy.
You are
But the
always
reality
this
is
guy.
this. Think about this, right? Adesanya. We have not really seen him deal with that much wrestling. Jan Blachowicz did. Izzy was stuck on his back, could not get up, and he seemed very exhausted. Even against Kelvin Gastelum, nobody up here can say Izzy wasn't tired. They fought striking the whole time, but the pace was really high. So it's like we don't know. Like when Izzy's winning these decisions against Cannonier, Romero, the pace is so slow. Nobody can get tired. So how much of a pace is he going to have to set in order to fatigue Pereira? Because if they're just standing there slapping leg kicks and popping jabs, that dude can do that for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like you and I wrestle.
Yeah.
If we're going to get to go into a fight and they say, dude, for 25 minutes, you guys wrestle, we got a better chance of out-wrestling that guy for 25 minutes and feeling better than that kickboxing dude.
Do you really
But
think
if you
you
put two wrestlers in there for 25 minutes, you're going to be okay for 25 minutes.
DC, you can wrestle for 25 minutes.
Oh,
you can
easy.
wrestle Chris Weidman for 25 minutes right now.
Impossible. Impossible.
He's got one shot, bro.
We got
this
enough-
guy has
we
one
got
I thought you were
enough
going to
room
say
right
one
here.
leg.
He's
I was
got-
like, bro, that's 30.
No,
That's 30.
I missed it. I should
I'm
have
ready
said
for
that.
it all.
The
You
opening
should,
was
bro.
there.
It was there. It was
He's got one leg.
I missed the softball. No, but no, he Chris has one shot, high crotch, easy to defend, cut the
Bro,
corner.
that's not my
under
shot. That's my
that.
shot at MMA. That's not my
He's
shot
got
in
one
wrestling.
shot.
Wrestling, low, John Smith single,
You shoot
bro.
a
You're
low
coach.
single, I will sprawl my fat
You
ass
ain't
when you're
sprawling
so fast.
on a low single.
I will boom
Bro.
and just fucking crossface your ass.
No, you'll be on your ass.
Let's play the
I mean, I
game.
know it's YouTube, but I mean, just four-letter
Impossible.
words out of nowhere.
I said one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
think we each get one.
unbelievable.
We get one each show.
Uh-oh, look.
Wait, so what are we doing
Worst
here?
apple bobber. Dude,
Oh.
I'm not a bad apple bobber.
I tried to drown him.
She tried to drown
I
me.
wish I would have been.
Apple
I wish I
bobber.
would have.
I don't really know what that means.
All right,
couldn't do it.
You guys have the whiteboards in your
Let's go.
hand. We're gonna do a little hot or not. We did this with Kamaru a while ago, talking about his outfits, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
The kids
yeah.
call it drip these
Yeah.
days.
It's a drip.
Drip.
No cap. No cap.
Oh, yeah, we need to revisit
Oh,
this.
no.
What are you doing?
You could
I
not
was trying
commit.
to apple bob, bro.
He couldn't commit,
I
and I
couldn't
had
breathe.
to help him
Laura's like
quit.
trying to drown me. Look at this. Oh. Laura's
like,
trying
get
to
in
drown
there.
me.
Where does this come from? What country do you do that?
America.
I've
brother.
never done this in
You
my
never
life.
bobbed for
I-
apples
no.
when you were a kid?
You don't do that on Long Island.
See what I'm
No.
saying? Like, that's some crazy.
Yeah.
He did cheat.
Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dude, but then
They
No,
don't
the
do that
worst
anymore.
part is Paul,
I've never
Paul
seen this in
came
my
up
life.
Paul
after
Felden did it in 5
in
seconds.
5 seconds.
Oh, really? He's
Jumped
good?
in.
Did he
grabbed
really?
it, was
Yes,
done.
DC would not commit to putting his face in the water. He was
I'm
just
black,
like trying
man.
to
We
be
don't
at
like
the
to get our
surface.
face underwater.
Felder's just a little more.
He was drowning. He can't swim.
I was like, get in there.
That's bad.
All right, now it's time for the hot or not
All right,
game.
let's go.
We're talking about drip. We're talking about gear. We're talking about how good these guys look.
Okay.
We did Kamaru a while ago. We're going to do Israel Adesanya. They both are known to wear some outlandish outfits. So we're going to pop up a picture of an outfit, and you guys are going to tell us whether it's hot or not.
And so we're writing down hot or not.
Yeah. All right, you got the Lakers jacket on. That's pretty basic for Izzy.
I mean, he's got some bling, some rings.
A little bit.
I'll give it to him.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to tell you? Oh.
Yeah. I was trying to draw fire. Didn't.
I guess I should go bigger.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, my God.
It's not a very confident
It looks like you wrote thought.
Chris is like,
he's a thought.
Not a very confident answer.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. This is drippy. You got the fur on the jacket.
Bro, does the water bottle match his coat?
I like the watch. Yeah, yeah.
All of it.
I like the.
All of it.
I like the coat.
I like the watch.
Drip City.
That's the thing, right? Like the coat's like really expensive.
I wrote
the
the word
coat's
coat
really
instead of hot,
expensive
but-
and nice, but it's like I don't necessarily like the coat.
I like
Love
the coat.
the watch though.
Really?
Love the watch.
You're not
yeah.
digging that coat?
I think he had a gold cap on the water
okay,
bottle.
this
I like that.
this is extra, right? This is a lot. Is it that Hugh Hefner kind of silk robe? Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you this.
Okay, so
Not a fan of pattern on pattern.
I'll say not because look at his face. He looks unsure of the outfit. I mean, it's just like, Chess? Anyone?
Man.
Look at
I think he really tried. We're going hot.
Oh, is that? Who is that?
That's not Adesanya, is it?
That's Adesanya. Oh, my goodness.
New Zealand really hurt him during those COVID days.
Yeah, he's all purple. He got the socks and the sandals.
What's he picking? He's trying to buy a beer?
He's buying alcohol.
Yeah. All right, nah.
Dude, hot.
Oh, you got hot? You're going hot with the purple robe.
The confidence with the purple robe, the white socks in public like that.
Confidence is attractive.
You got to be Israel Adesanya or someone very important to go out in public like that and be okay.
Now, this is simple. The coat, you got the nice watch.
Dude, it's the watch for me over and over again. Like it's just, you start wearing a rollie like that, you know, the gold rollie.
I kind of like that jacket. All right, we're going.
Call a plumber.
Simple.
Okay, I see you.
He's not as extra as Usman, huh?
You got no fashion, Cormier,
me?
right? You're not good at fashion.
Oh, I'm the best, actually.
Look at him. He's like one of the Manning
Why I
brothers
like
with
that.
his
That's
quarter
kinda
zip.
old school.
Oh, you're an idiot.
No, I'm funny. What do you think? This is kind of a classic look
It is.
here.
It's got a throwback.
I'm going-
I like that.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Nah.
Hot?
No?
Not digging it?
Yeah, I don't like
That's
the bow
kinda
tie.
classy. Like classy.
You don't like the bow tie? They
Nah,
don't
I'm
do
good.
bow ties on Long Island?
No, they do, but the principal, only if you're a principal. That's it. Yeah, I'm not into it.
All right.
Let's see.
Where are we here?
That's in Los Angeles, bro. That's
Rodeo Drive.
That's Rodeo Drive right there,
He's spending some money.
You
over
telling me
there.
you don't know that? Hell, you
He's doing sandals with the white socks again, by the way.
I don't
frequent Rodeo Drive.
I do not.
Yes.
And I do not wear sandals with socks ever.
I said not. Same Bulls jersey.
Nah.
It's double wear. It's the same Bulls sweater.
I feel like I'm shopping with him on Rodeo Drive,
dude,
so I'm saying that's hot.
I said not because he's Israel Adesanya. You cannot wear the same jersey in public twice.
Well, he had a Lakers one on before.
You gotta throw it out. You gotta give it to
right,
a friend.
right.
And then you're not going to like this one because it's
Got
the
the
same
coat.
coat.
See, same code.
But
Flip-flops
I
again.
love that
He
coat.
loves. Does he have socks on?
That's one
He does.
pair of sandals too.
Oh, he does not.
I like that. I like the shirt. You know,
I like it.
I'm going hot. I like the
just
shirt.
going to keep writing the word coat because I like that coat.
Digging the coat. I do
I
too.
want that coat.
Yeah, that's a sweet coat.
Well, I mean, I just think it's a great coat. But
All right.
can't wear it in public.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
That was sick.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Do I have to say hot though? Feels weird. Hot.
Fire.
It was everything.
Dead
though.
man
Just that
has
walkout was
arrived.
sick.
Dude,
Yeah.
I geeked out so bad.
That was sick. Yeah.
For that.
That was sick. I was there for
Hey, man, can I
that.
say
You were there
something?
for that too,
Can I say
obviously.
something? You're probably like my favorite that's come on this show.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm wondering when you're gonna change that up on me.
Wow. I mean,
When you
Chandler.
You say that to everybody who comes on the show?
Yeah, he says it to every single
He
person at
does.
some
Yeah,
point
yeah,
during the
yeah.
show.
That's dirty. That's dirty. You're
I
not
need
gonna
to borrow
outsmart
your
me, bro.
whiteboard.
Okay.
I'm way too smart.
I
for you.
like that. You're witty. You got a great attitude. You're very well prepared.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, RJ's back with us. RJ, we have to pick a winner.
We do. And as a guy that wears the same black hat, black shirt,
are we
black
still
pants
on camera right
every
now?
single day,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you're like Steve Jobs. You keep it simple. Well, he's sorry about
Pretty
that. He's not live anymore.
Well, I loved your bow tie comment. So our winner is
Let's go.
the All-American Chris
I don't
Weidman.
know. I kind of disagreed. I like some of the commentary that Sanko had.
That was a
plumber? Who
that
said
was a
call a
compliment.
plumber?
I'm doing
Weidman
too.
Okay, so stop.
All right, so you have to pick the winner.
Bro, you brought nothing to the table other than just going against everybody.
Oh,
that's it.
Oh, no. I take it back. You're the only loser.
What do you mean?
Because everybody else got a vote besides you.
and Chris.
So I'll spin it for you. You're the loser, and you have to do the wheel of misfortune.
So you guys got to explain this game to me.
Rockets.
My favorite. Yes. This is going to be great.
All right,
Yes.
so
Don't blow an ACL.
Let's take a look at what you're supposed to do.
I know exactly what it is.
You've done
Here
this
it is.
before, haven't you?
By the way, we're at
Tank
Radio
top.
City Music Hall. They're having
that.
Rockets rehearsal in a couple hours here.
Their knees are touching their nose, DC.
Wait, so now he has to do the Rockets.
Yes.
Kick line.
Do it.
Let's see it. Let's
Don't-
see it. Do you need me to hold
Don't
on to?
break.
Let me hold on to you.
I really
Chris,
would
get
like.
behind, get
I got
behind
you.
him.
I really would
Get
like to
behind
hold
him.
on to you.
I got you.
what a
I got you.
team.
Go.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta do a half and then a full and then a half, a knee, then a kick.
What is
knee, then
this?
kick.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
you
Please
are
don't
good
kick
at
the
this.
You like that?
You are good. That
I'm
was
pretty
good
good
rhythm.
at it.
Wow.
That was good
Pretty
rhythm.
good. Yo,
Yeah.
I
You were
stretched.
limber
I
than
just
I thought.
stretched better
You were more limber
than
than
I
I
stretched
thought.
in years.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
How's
guess
your
what?
lower back? Is it all right?
It's pretty tight, so
All
we
right.
need a moment. Guys, let me tell you a tale real quick. Go to it, Richie. Show them. Let's go. So let me tell you a tale. Nothing star-crossed, no heroes, no villains. Just a good old-fashioned classic story, revenge. One that began 7 years ago in China. Izzy, Pereira, ropes, a square ring, and those silly big gloves. And after 9 minutes, 3 3-minute rounds of kickboxing. Come on, guys. Math. Alex up 1-0. But now it's redemption time for the style bender. Only 1 year later, but this time, Izzy's got to go to Brazil. And in 42 seconds into round 3, bang! We don't see the style bender knocked out like this. It does not happen anytime, never, when he's laced up a pair of gloves. 12 ounce, 4 ounce, don't matter. Izzy don't go to sleep like this. Now, the story of fighting in an organization and settling it elsewhere, that's something we've heard before. So you remember when Dominic Cruz tapped to the California kid for the WEC belt? Well, I do. You know why? Because your boy DC does his homework, baby. The Dominator got his revenge. He dominated the next 2 meetings. And even more importantly, both times, he was defending his UFC championship.
Big left hand! Out! And again, he hurts him.
Let's wind the clock back even more. Let's go all the way back to the Pride days. Vanderlei Silva was an absolute problem for Rampage Jackson, twice. But in the third meeting, boom, redemption. And since we're here, how about the reverse? Big Don Pride taking out Big Daddy Gary Goodridge in the early UFC days. And then in Pride, hey, revenge. The Diaz brothers had a couple, so did Vitor and Hendo. Shout out to my boy Brian Stan. He got his redemption story over Steve Cantwell. But let's get back to the here and now. Izzy and Alex. Let's just say a few things have happened since.
Whitaker nearly out on his feet. Adesanya trying to close it out. Israel Adesanya is the undisputed king of the middleweights.
And for all that he's done, the antics, the showmanship, there's only been one question, Alex Pereira. And that dude, he definitely understands the assignment. The stakes have never been higher, and it's no surprise, only one place can house this fight, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Will history repeat itself again, or will the last Stylebender finally get his revenge? Either way, there will be no more questions, only answers. You guys see Israel Adesanya. These guys have fought before. Adesanya, 14-1, Pereira 4-0 in the UFC. Although they have fought before, this is a new arena. They're fighting in the UFC's octagon. Laura Sanko, how much do these kickboxing matches matter? We're fighting for a UFC championship in the world's most famous arena in Izzy's house.
It matters in the sense that this is why we're here. I mean, this is the entire reason why Alex Pereira is sitting in the spot that he's sitting in, because the fact is that on paper he has beaten Israel Adesanya not once, but twice. But when you start to dig into the details of these fights and geek out about the differences between kickboxing and MMA, you see openings for both guys, but in particular Israel Adesanya. But the mentality for Alex Pereira to come into this fight and have that, what I like to think of as like GoPro footage, the GoPro footage of seeing his shot connect with Israel Adesanya and lay him out. He can play that in his mind over and over and over.
You actually do travel by private jet. It's really sad that you're so bougie. She's so bougie, bro.
I saw that too.
I did it one time.
No.
I guarantee you've been on a private jet.
The reality is that was Laura's jet. Like, that's their jet.
I saw your name on it. That's
Right?
awesome.
Yeah, they keep it at the farm. They have a landing strip. It's like 20,000 feet long.
They call me PJ Sanko at the gym now.
It's so
Private
bad,
jet.
Sanko, that you can be like this.
Anyway.
So we got Pereira, who knocked out Adesanya. Was that Adesanya's last loss ever? Like
no, Jan was his last loss.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so take away that. But like worst case scenario,
it was the only time he's been knocked out.
Like knocked out cold is the worst case scenario, and to be facing that guy years later in a completely different sport is gotta be a little bit of a mind.
Yeah, the boogeyman, right?
You know what I mean?
He's gotta be the boogeyman a little bit.
And that's a big dude. He's not smiling. He's not here for fun. He's there to knock him out again. You know, Adesanya is definitely a mentally strong dude, very smart. But at the end of the day, when you're home at night and you're by yourself, those are the type of thoughts that kind of come into your mind. And how much of a factor is that going to play? You know, how much stress has he pushed through to like overcome those self-doubts? This whole camp is going to be the question.
So let me ask you this: how important is it for Pereira early in the fight to try to land a couple of big shots to remind Izzy of how it feels?
I think, if Pereira gives Izzy any confidence, you know, by keeping the fight slow and, you know, letting Izzy get his distance and his timing, you know, we're going to have a, you know, really exciting fight. But if Pereira walks across that octagon and gets right in his face and is throwing, I know you think he's a big counter striker. In my head, I see him as a guy who really presses forward against another striker and throws those big right hands, but then he comes back with this scary-ass left hook that we haven't really seen before. You don't see left hooks like that really anywhere. And he puts people to sleep with them. If he comes like that, man, it's a really going to be a tough spot for Adesanya to be in.
It could be a tough spot for the champ. You know what I love? Every now and again you'll start talking and you sound like Matt Serra. Really? You sound like Serra every now and again. You sound like
I sound Southern.
Yeah, you sound like Matt Serra every now and again. He knocked him out.
Well, we're from like two towns. Well, he's from 2 towns away from me, so we're from like the same area.
Be tough, Adesanya.
Bro, that's not how we talk, bro. That's like a Valley girl. What are you talking about?
You know this man has his own radio show now on Sirius XM?
He does?
That's right, man.
Absolutely.
Won't Back Down Radio.
You're like, what,
One day I'm going to actually have you come on my show. That'd be awesome. I asked you to come on my podcast. You left me unread.
No, so like...
Did he at least respond to you?
That's nonsense.
That's what I know he's big time me, bro. I always felt like me and DC had this connection, you know, the wrestling days. We kind of came up together. DC. He was like my idol, man. He really took over America with wrestling, dominated the freestyle scene.
And he ghosted
got into fighting. I'm getting into fighting. DC, what's up? It's me. And he just left me unread. Wow.
Oh my God.
I got a podcast, man. Can we help each other out here?
You can't do this here. Yes, I'll go on your podcast. I'm there, bro.
This is the place to do it.
So tomorrow when we golf, like I can film it. Okay. Yeah, for my YouTube. Okay.
RJ, where's RJ?
Sirius XM.
We want to do some lists. Oh, you have the Modelo's?
Modelo, bartender.
I told you. Weidman asked me in the car ride on the way over. He goes, "Do we really?"
I don't have mine. I don't have my cards.
Oh, do we ever? Do we ever?
Well, Sanko will take
some beers.
Sanko will take one beer and she'll nurse it for the next 40 minutes.
Because she's
she'll be
heavily
drunk.
buzzed.
She'll be
off
very
of that
drunk.
half of
The air
beer.
dry.
Tiny. She hikes a lot.
Anyone?
I'm a hiking expert.
She's a big hiker.
Well, she only drinks champagne on private planes.
Yeah,
like that's
true.
what she.
Yeah,
You know, that's a good point. Can I please?
This is way too blue collar.
You're not flying the private jet home, right? Okay, good.
Modelo's high class. Okay.
got
That's
a fighting
gold.
spirit.
Look at the wrapper. It's got gold on there.
Well, ask.
Well, cheers, boys and girls.
You don't have to call me girl. It's okay.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 This must be a New York thing. It's like a bit warm. It's like warmer than most places.
It's wintertime. It's going to keep you warm on the inside.
In New York,
You know,
like
New York
warm,
is
they like
tough.
warm
We're
beer.
not like California where everything's just so nice all the time.
They do warm beers over in Ireland. We have an Alex Pereira update.
Uh-oh.
So he's gonna milk this. He's gonna wait all the way up until about 11 to weigh in, close to.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
And
No, very smart because he gets the hour. If
well,
not.
no, he gets 2 hours. If he misses, he gets 2 hours to make weight. So he's trying to take as long as he can and make that window as
well.
long as
But I got some
If he
news for you.
misses, he gets to step on the scale again to try
In
again?
2 hours, yes, 2 hours
within 2 hours.
Hey,
I
but
thought
listen-
we said the
listen,
opposite before.
But you know what? This comes with a bit of a caveat. We stay here until he makes the weight.
Let's go. So we're going to be
2
drinking
more
a lot
hours.
of
We'll
Modelo's.
Get a 30
many
pack
more
if that's
of
the
these?
case.
It'll be over.
Yeah,
Get a 30 pack. Get a 30 pack.
Do we have enough?
Do you remember how hammered I
shopping.
got last time we had a 4-hour or 3.5 hour
we were
show?
waiting for Charles. Who
I
were
was
we
like
waiting for? Charles
laying on a
Oliveira?
Passed
table.
out on the beer
Really?
pong table.
No, for real.
Literally.
We had to
No,
play
because
beer.
we
I played beer pong with
and Bilal doesn't drink, so she had to take every drink.
What game do we have to play? We have to do a drinking game. Let's do a drinking game.
Oh, we'll
right
definitely.
Now.
We didn't plan for that. Sorry.
Yo, you're such a little.
You got to take cards.
Step it up.
Let's
Somebody
have a little,
come up with a good drinking game.
Okay, we'll start. Well, RJ's really good at that. I'm really good. We'll have a few.
We all went to
You're
college. for
really
different
good at
reasons.
that.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
Tennessee.
Ooh.
Yeah, we drink there.
a shot every time DC looks at his phone. That's what I say.
I mean, we'd be hammered.
Where is his phone?
You guys want to talk top 5 strikers?
Yes, we do. That's exactly what
because
we wanna do.
obviously we have some great ones here with Israel and Dustin Poirier. Is he tied for second most knockdowns in middleweight history? Poirier most knockouts in lightweight history. So that kind of inspired this top 5 list of best strikers currently in the UFC right now.
This was a harder assignment than I thought it was going to be. I give number 1 to Israel Adesanya for all of the reasons that we've been talking about. I know DC's already making fun of my list. He does this. You know, are you laughing at Sean O'Malley?
No, I'm not.
Bro,
You are
that's
absolutely
messed up,
laughing at
DC.
Sean O'Malley. Valentina Shevchenko deserves to be number 2. She's untouchable in that division. Her striking is flawless.
I actually like Sean O'Malley up there, even though he's, he pretty much lost that last fight. He's not a champion. He's lost other fights before.
I like him, but here's 7 things I hate about him.
This is not a
But his
this is not
slip
like
and
a
rips,
most accomplished
he's very
strikers.
good on the feet.
This
He's got very technically good.
Chris
This is not most accomplished strikers. This is who we view as like just has the best striking, and then I got to give 5 to Max. I really wanted to put. I mean, I needed there to be 6 because Dustin should be on this list.
All right, RJ, you're up. I like.
So do you think Max Holloway right now, currently, is one of the top 5 strikers in the whole UFC, not just his division? Because
Yes.
I look back,
Yeah.
at like the Dustin Poirier fight with him. They were just pretty much standing
Yeah,
up.
but a lot of that was no. I put Max on that list.
You're
yeah,
staying with that, right?
I am. I think.
Well, then you're going to hate my list.
All right, RJ, let it rip.
Okay, my turn.
I'm gonna get you drunk right now, Laura.
great.
Laura's like having 2 of me
Also-
here.
All right, so I'm going bottom to
She's
top.
chugging.
I'm going to go Rafael Fiziev. Oh, we're going to do my little thing first.
Still sad about. Oh my God. Oh yeah, we did beat these dudes. You saw what we did to these dudes. We beat these dudes 24-0, dog. We look like a professional football team's beating on the Raiders.
The
we haven't
NFL
looked
is
that
so
good
weird
yet.
right now.
Well, this is the thing.
That was New York teams winning.
You can't
What the
blow a
hell's going on?
17-point lead if you never have a 17-point lead. So that was our strategy going
felt
into New
better
Orleans.
about
That's a really
Yeah, it's like we didn't
that's
blow a lead.
really
It was perfect.
positive
We just don't
thinking.
score
It's a
any
good
points.
experience.
Can we move over to my
This
list? Get
clip
that
from the
goddamn
Raiders.
thing off the screen, please. You're all. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yo, the Raiders.
Why are you bringing up old shit?
The Raiders just cut their
2 weeks
Now he's
first round
pissed,
pick.
bro. He wore black because
They get
the
rid of all
Raiders, and now
kinds
he just ruined them.
They get
Oh, he
rid
got
of all
a Raiders
their
hat
first
on.
round.
Look
This
how
is
fired
awesome.
up he is. I mean, Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller go on injury reserve, and he's so angry with like everybody.
Why are we bringing up old shit?
His face is
Can I get
red.
my list?
Can we just talk about the
face.
Chiefs?
I like it.
He's so red.
Let's bring up a list of like,
There it
20
is, yeah.
years ago. Okay, thank God.
There you
All
go.
right, Rafael Fiziev, Pajeda, Holloway, Izzy, and Gane.
You're not even happy, bro.
He's so
You gotta
mad.
believe in these guys. They put a lot of work in here
He's
to be.
mad because the Raiders suck.
He just rage quit.
strikers
But
in
the
the world.
reality, he rage quit.
He rage quit.
He literally threw his controller
Yeah,
at
bro.
the TV. But that is what Raiders
That is-
fans do, bro. It's sad the way they act.
That's sad.
They
That
all
is
behave
sad.
that way.
That's
Look
a,
at him.
that's a
And they
little
follow
child.
him. Look at him now. He's like he's in the corner now. He's in the corner. He's
He's doing the walk away.
He's running away. No
Oh
camera
my
shots.
gosh.
He took his basketball and went home, dog.
I love it.
Hey, let's get Weidman's
He's
list.
got the
Let's get a real list.
Hold on. There's an order to things. There's an order to things.
There's a way.
You have a list?
I'm up, and I have a list.
Ooh, you cut
Why
me,
you look
bro.
at me like that? I know. I'm just kind of cutting you off here. I'll be curious to see what you think about my list. I put Poirier over Max because he's beaten Max. Obviously, when Max is in the flow, Blessed is one of the best ever, if not the best ever. Valentina, I had Valentina at 2 for a while, Laura, and I kind of moved her down.
You have a very similar list, man.
And O'Malley is an absolute sniper. He is so precise. 61% of his significant strikes land. Why do you act like you're asleep when I talk about my list?
No. I'm just saying.
Let me say this. He's going to say something that's going to put me on blast.
Listen, I'm not going to put you on blast because last time it was bad, so I would never do that to you again. But the basis, when you know you've messed up and you want to try to prove it, you go to get the numbers. 61. That's when you start doing that. I bet you don't say 61% of his strikes will land.
You're not
yeah, right. That's when you start trying. When you're trying to put a
Google
point.
stat right there.
Yes. When you're trying to prove that you know and you have some merit to what you're saying, 60% of his strikes.
Hey, bro, and how is everybody putting Adesanya on their list, but they're leaving out Pereira?
See what I'm saying?
Pereira beat him. He beat him twice in kickboxing.
Yeah.
Does kickboxing count as striking?
Striking, yes, Chris.
You're saying Pereira is one of the top 5 strikers in UFC right now. Right now.
Whoa, Pereira is?
Yeah.
Did you put him on your list?
No.
Why?
Look at that, Chris. Look at your list.
Okay, here we go. Here's my list. Here's the right list. All right, listen. These weren't in number order when I put it down, but they switched everything up. But all right, I'll take it. Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy.
No nepotism here. Your brother-in-law's number 1 on the list.
Yeah. He's all right. He's not really my brother-in-law. His brother's my brother-in-law, but just
close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough. So we just say brother-in-law. Yeah. But man, he is such a good striker, so he's up there. Israel Adesanya. Pereira, I don't know why he's not on your guys' list, but he deserves to be on there. He knocked out Adesanya. Robert Whittaker, I think, is another great one.
Yeah,
you know, the way he picked apart Kelvin Gastelum. Oh, you don't?
Yeah, not him.
Not him. He might be the most questionable. How about Cyril Gane?
Dustin Poirier?
You don't like Cyril Gane?
How about Cyril Gane?
I thought about putting Cyril on mine.
I mean, he
Can
moves
I get
like
my
a
list?
cat.
Can I get my list now? Me and Weidman, we started to come to superpowers. Here's my list. Adesanya, Pereira. Guys, you put the best strikers. Kickboxing is striking.
Yeah.
They should be 1 and 2 because they're the 2 most accomplished kickboxers we have in the UFC.
You can put James Toney on that list. You can put James Toney up there.
Boxer. Cyril Gane.
He deserves to be up there, but he's not fighting right now.
Yes, he's not fighting right now.
It's current.
Back then, would you have put James Toney on that
Okay,
list?
so if you're looking at Strikeforce, was he in Strikeforce?
No, he was in the UFC, but when they said the best boxers in UFC history, I put James Toney.
No, I put James Toney.
James Toney was one of the best boxers of all time.
You are such a liar. That was one of my greatest moments on the show, and you were trying to steal it from me. I put James Toney.
Laura, you had Izzy, Alex, Valentina, and Volk. You just missed Cyril Gane, so I have no issues. Wait,
I can't believe you didn't put Max on
I don't think
your
you
list.
had
didn't have one of those. You didn't have Volkanovski
No,
either.
Volkanovski.
No, I had Volkanovski.
Who did you not have of these 4?
I didn't have Alex Pereira.
Yeah, that's messed up. But I do like that. I actually wish I had Volkanovski on my list.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's got a great striking. And
thought about
Shevchenko.
Volk.
I
Both
thought
those are
about
good
Pereira,
picks.
How good is
but
mine?
I'm just not ready to do it.
You got a good list. You got a good list.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah,
Finally,
you
get
got a
some
good
respect
list.
out here. I finally got somebody out here.
Even if Cyril Gane can lose, he could be knocked out by Francis Ngannou.
Great striker.
But his strike and the way he moves on the feet.
Listen, bro, when you
there's
got
no
Francis
heavyweight like that.
Ngannou turning into a wrestler because you're outstriking him like that.
Hold on. Is that why he turned into a wrestler? Or did he turn into a wrestler because he couldn't move on his knee?
Bro, it's harder to wrestle than
You're
kickbox.
saying he was injured?
So yeah, no,
That's why?
No.
Yeah.
No, listen.
He was injured.
Francis,
but
it was harder
okay.
for Francis to wrestle than kickbox. Let's get that clear. Did you see? I'm trying not to put you on blast, but then you say stuff like that. You got to stop, Dan.
No, but he got a takedown.
Fair enough, but he couldn't fight his normal fight because of the knee.
Yeah, but Cyril Gane, he knew Cyril was the better striker.
He was kind of getting picked apart a little
Just
bit.
picked apart.
Yeah.
And then look what Cyril Gane did to Tai Tuivasa.
I don't like when you guys pick on me at the same time.
We're not picking on you.
This is very mild.
Thank
You went to the University of Tennessee. Oh, you guys were number 1 in the country last week.
Yeah, you guys stormed the field. That was awesome. The RNC.
All right, here's who is yet to weigh in. Alex Pereira, waiting. We're waiting for him to come to the scale. He will be coming, but he's going to wait probably until it's close to the top of the hour as he can get. He is somewhere between half a pound and a pound, so hopefully he can get this off.
What are the other guys doing?
So, Dean Thomas, RJ Clifford,
what's the update on those
they
guys?
are like Batman and Robin, and they were all over Broadway and other parts of New York City recently. Let's take a look.
What's up, guys? RJ and Dean here at Madison Square Garden for the UFC 281 presser. And because it's such a big show and we're in New York City, we figured we'd go big.
Me and RJ are aspiring thespians, and it has been my dream to do Shakespeare on Broadway, so this is about as close as we're going to get. We are going to do the famous Julius Caesar scene, but in order to do it, we need to find a third person.
We have our swords, we have our outfits. I feel amazingly comfortable in this. Let's go find our third, round out this trio. Action!
Wilt thou not lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar!
Doth Brutus Brutus not kneel?
Speak hence for me! What is that? What is that?
Brutus Brutus kneel!
Stab it, Brutus! Stab it harder! Yo, you've earned a Tony Award. Congratulations. So how many times have you stabbed somebody in the streets of New York?
Listen, man. We don't talk about those things. You know what I mean?
Would you say that's the coolest thing you've ever done in the streets of New York?
In the streets of New York, this is like probably pretty regular. This is pretty.
I was gonna say it's pretty regular. We're stabbing a dude in a toga, and not a single New Yorker cared. All you gotta do is start stabbing his ass when I stab him.
All right, but it's not gonna be hate crime because it's Brutus.
Well, I mean, it's only hate crime when I do it. Get your hands off my friend! Death by 1,000 cuts.
I KO Dean Thomas. Watch UFC 281. Those are my last words.
That was
He's
amazing.
back. He's back.
He's done
All it took was a feature to get him back.
All it took was a little more camera time.
No, it took a Modelo. Look at him. He loosened
you good,
up.
buddy?
Oh my God. Bro, the power of Modelo right there. Look at that.
That was good.
I'm already feeling better.
The Cookie Monster's back.
Guys.
Good, bro.
Can I look like Ben Askren with that wig?
You kind of did.
A little bit. A little bit.
Just a better wrestler.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Where'd you wrestle?
San Francisco State.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just 3 All-American
I forgot they
wrestlers
had a
hanging
program.
out.
Look at you guys. Studs over there.
Well, Chris goes, I didn't even know they had a program.
I'm their one guy. I'm their one guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gilbert Melendez, Jake Shields.
Terrible.
Wrestled there.
Oh, yeah. Wait, Jake Shields?
Yeah, Jake Shields.
It's good.
And Gilbert Melendez.
Well, you guys talk wrestling. I'm going to talk.
Bro, when Jake Shields beat Dan Henderson that time, I wanted to cry. What the hell was that?
Hey,
Just high crotching, crackdown.
what was your record?
Here. Hey, look,
It was exactly a 500 record.
Oh, 35.
That's not true.
Oh, speaking of records,
Now
he
we're
was
making
actually
shit up.
0-35 at San
That is
Francisco
awesome.
State.
That is awesome. They put that up there.
That is an incorrect stat. I don't know why you're
You
saying
guys in the truck are
Look at his face.
No, I know you're a good wrestler. I know you're a good wrestler.
His face is getting red again. He's about to
The
leave.
year is at least 10 wins.
That is a lot of
Yeah,
wins.
until jiu-jitsu came around, now everybody has cauliflower ear.
I know.
They ruined it. They ruined it.
Oh, look at his.
That's also not
Look
true.
at his MMA record.
That's not a correct record.
All right, hang on.
Now they're just making shit up.
What is the truth? What is your MMA record? Be honest.
4-3.
That's not bad, man. That's a winning record.
There you go.
Was it amateur or pro?
They're all pro.
Bro, I didn't know you were a beast like that.
Well,
that's good.
I try to stay humble.
He was
Well, because you're so talented with other things. I didn't think you could be talented with that.
I can't believe how much you're uplifting him, but just shitting on these two.
Look
I
at
love
this.
that. Are you kidding me? I'm not shitting on you guys.
Didn't graduate high school. I mean, they're.
Also
What did
not
you?
true.
Whose Cheerios?
Oh
did you
my
piss in?
God. Oh, you can't read the graphic. RJ, this is hard. What is happening? Hey, guys,
Who is doing
I'm out.
this? I love you, whoever's
Guys,
doing this.
I'm out now. I'm out on this. It's starting
Derek
to
and
feel
Graphics
wrong.
had way more time on his hands than he should. I hope he's not getting OT for this.
It's starting to feel wrong that you guys are doing this too much to him. And Laura's uncomfortable.
She's almost done with that beer. Let's
I know.
go.
How you didn't know that.
Come on.
What's the drinking game? Drink
I'm
every
just
time
gonna
there's a
keep
wrong
drinking.
fact about me on the TV.
All right.
We be at least 6 in
if
right
DC
now.
thinks it's too much, that's.
Yeah, can we do something else?
All right, what game are we playing right
It
now?
is Derek from
I
Graphics
told
doing
you.
this to you.
I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling Tracy Cortez.
She'll never.
He's
leaving again. He's leaving again.
What are you telling Tracy Cortez?
Another beer.
He's gone.
Derek
Is
and
this something on
Graphics.
DC?
It's a running
Loves
joke.
Tracy
Oh, he loves Tracy.
Oh, yeah, Derek does.
Oh, bro, that's
Oh, he's coming back.
She's taken.
Yeah, she is. You better not mess with that guy either.
No
Hey,
doubt.
can we,
triangle choke you.
You guys want to play a little Broadway
Yeah,
trivia?
please.
I mean, this is the mecca, right, for musicals and plays.
Good.
And
You guys can take the
theater.
dub on me right
We're
now.
definitely
I feel good about
I
this.
got 0.
I feel real good about
All right,
this.
I
so
know nothing.
You got the whiteboard.
Yep.
If you want to hold your beer, you can set it down right there.
You don't want me to? Okay.
No. I'm gonna hold my beer.
Listen, man, I
Are you
was
gonna
just
watch
trying to
the fights
represent
tomorrow night,
Modelo.
or What are you doing?
Yeah, of course I am.
Right by us, huh?
What's that?
You gonna be right next to us?
I'm not going to be there this week.
You're not going to the fights?
I'm not. Unfortunately, I have another commitment.
What are you doing?
I have a Wisconsin-Iowa football game, and then
Wow.
I'm going to be going home and watching the fights from home.
Do you like going to the NFL games or the college games better?
I like them both. Yeah, I like them both. More passion. College
He's
football
so
fans more
distracted.
passionate. Yeah. All right, let's do a little trivia. All right, the Oscar Awards equivalent, DC, for theater. The Oscar Awards equivalent for theater is called the blank awards. The blank awards, right? The Oscar of theater. I mean, our director Anthony would know this for sure.
Hey Siri. Siri, Alexa, whoever's out there.
Help me.
All right, turn him. SAG. SAG After Awards.
Yep, SAG.
Did you really? Did you cheat?
No.
He cheated off you. He wrote that.
I copied.
That's not
copy
correct.
off me,
Good
bro?
job.
I did not copy off of you, bro.
True or false? An off-Broadway production can win a Tony Award.
That's
cannot win a Tony Award. True or false? An off-Broadway production cannot win a Tony Award.
Okay. Mine's very small, but it's false.
What is up with the small handwriting?
You write really.
Is that how they teach it at Hofstra?
Yeah.
I got small hands.
Small hands and a bionic thumb.
Exactly. Really long thumb.
That's crazy, man.
All right, next up. The musical West Side Story was set in This American City. The musical West Side Story was set in This American City.
California, right?
You better not get that right. Wrong.
Yep. All right, y'all got it. Good work.
I got it. You got it? Yeah. Ooh, you got Bronx? You put Bronx up there?
All right, Lin-Manuel Miranda created which Broadway musical smash hit in 2015? Lin-Manuel Miranda created which Broadway musical smash hit in 2015?
Let It Go.
Is that not the
Let It
person
Go?
that sings Let It Go?
Sanko is the only one.
Let It Go is a Disney. That's
from
that's Frozen.
Wicked, right?
That's from Frozen.
Oh my God.
What was it? Andrew Lloyd Webber famously created this musical set in a theater
Andrew Lloyd Webber. Who is
haunted
that?
by a masked figure. Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd. Oh, I think I know.
This musical.
I know. I actually know this.
Set
Don't
in a
copy me.
theater
Let me do it, then
by
you
a
will show.
masked
No,
figure.
stop. I'm actually no one. I was actually.
All he does is cheat, dude. I mean, it's a hard in this setup to not. Got it.
You know, Dominic Cruz. I was thinking. Dominic Cruz is the dude. He's like the nerd in the class that won't let you see his answers.
I'll try to help you.
Come on, bro.
All right, this is
gonna cheat
this
off
is a good
of
one. The Book of Mormon was created by the same duo who also created this famous cartoon series.
I went and saw this on Broadway when I lived here.
I still have not seen it, and I
It
would
was
really
great.
love to see it.
Wait. So repeat the question.
The Book of Mormon was created by two guys who also have a famous cartoon series on television.
They can't collude.
Apparently they can.
I don't know.
Just go. Just say South Park. Just say South Park.
Yo, they can hear us.
That was the answer anyway.
He's the Mormon guy that is just out of their minds.
Oh.
All right.
Wait, how close are we to beating Laura? Like, can you combine our scores?
All right, Jean
so
Valjean is a character in
How do you
which
know this?
musical?
She gets it so.
I just asked the question.
Laura, you watch
I'm an
musicals?
educated woman with money on my mind.
Ooh.
Dude, what?
Private jets and
Let me
musicals.
think. Chris,
Some life.
let's talk. What is it? Repeat the question again.
Zero idea.
I dreamed a dream a time
Jean Valjean is a character in which musical?
when
It's one of the more famous musicals of all time.
life
You go in, I'll go.
All right, flip it.
Oh, Les Miserables.
Flip it.
Oh, Les Miserables.
Good
Les
job.
Miserables.
Les Miserables,
goes
yes,
Les
it's Les
Miserables.
Miserables.
We got it.
Jeez
We got it.
Louise.
This famous Broadway musical duo wrote musicals such as Oklahoma, Carousel, South Pacific, and The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music, I've heard that word before.
I know Sound of
It's a
Music.
duo. Who wrote them all?
Oh, we can get you. We gotta really get together.
I'm so glad I get to ask these
I
questions.
bring nothing to the table.
All right, flip him over.
I need Siri.
Hold on.
Oh, she is.
Chris are just like, we're...
Wow.
I have terrible
Senko
handwriting.
just
I couldn't get it
dominated.
out.
Oh, that's impressive.
What is that?
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
I have terrible handwriting.
It's over, bro. Like, she won.
The
She's
fact
up by
that you
4
know
points.
Okay, I got one. We got two more. All right, last one. This retired UFC fighter graduated from the University of the Arts in Philly with a degree in theater and later starred in the play Reasons to Be Pretty.
Oh.
Hey, wait, stop, guys. Before we do this, could we please, if we get this right, we beat Laura?
Why would you do that?
Let's just think,
I
if we
agree.
get this
Why would you do
right,
that?
because you have a background in this, if
No,
we
I
get
don't.
one right.
She's been dominating this
I
fight.
have
You
I have a background in finance. What are you talking about?
Bro, we should be able to, no, ours should be worth more because she knew all this.
Yes. This is obviously your
I
thing.
lived here.
Bro, she
I mean, although you live here a lot longer, Chris.
Chris,
I don't go. You just
I
go
lived
to
in Manhattan.
Broadway.
I lived in Manhattan.
Laura, you politic for that competition. There's no way they just chose to do that.
No, they
to Chris
did.
now.
And the reality is you guys combined for 9 correct answers. She got 9 by herself.
I'll let you touch it.
Man, I don't want to
I'll
touch
let
that
you
shit. Right, okay.
All
Is
of
that
them.
Is that the replica?
I do want to touch it, man. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to touch it.
You can't.
I'm
Senka,
gonna get
who
another
spins the
chance.
wheel?
Oh, Chris is spinning the wheel for sure.
I'll take that loss. So now I gotta do one of these things.
Ragging on my rankings.
All right, here we go. Oh, is that what got you like motivated?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Disrespecting my rankings.
I loved your rankings. We were just having a conversation.
Now I feel bad.
We're just having a conversation.
We'll go on a hike.
Oh no, Rockheads kicks
We already
again.
did that.
Do it
Let's do it
again.
again. Spin it again. Yeah.
No more Rockheads. Because I did it so well, like nobody could ever retreat.
Yeah, that was really good.
There was one kick where your knee got up pretty high. I was pretty proud of that one.
Yes. What is it? The shocker.
Yes, what is the shocker? Is someone
Well,
gonna
It's
do
not
something?
what you think it is. It's not what you think it is.
Okay, I was about to say.
It's exactly what you think it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I'm being shocked right now. I'm being electrocuted. This is. I hope. Do I have to sign a waiver?
You don't have a
You should have
pacemaker,
seen,
do you?
seen Weidman's face. Like
I have
this,
a lot of
this
metal
shit is weird.
in my
That's
body.
right. He has a lot of metal all over his body. This will be great.
Oh God, it is going to reverberate.
Am I the first person to die on this show?
Put your
or has this
bionic
happened
thumb
before?
on it.
I am. I long time.
He's like not on this game right now because you guys made
on
fun
to
of him
that.
so bad.
super
He's just
nervous.
like blocking Chris's camera.
Yeah, can I get some TV
DC should
time?
have to do it with him. since
I'm
he
here for
lost,
TV
too.
time.
Ready?
What do I do?
Just hold on.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
scared.
Just hold on.
What are you
Just
doing?
hold on. Put your hold on. Put your thumbs
Breaking
on
the
it.
set.
Oh my God, that was scary. Yeah, all right, that works. That's electricity.
Is the anticipation?
Replay action.
Anticipation. Look at his face.
All right, time for
My hair's not
rapid
receding.
fire presented by Modelo. RJ, do we have any? Can we reload? Do we have any
Absolutely.
more? Okay.
Trying to get me.
Senko's almost taken
We
3
don't
sips
know
of
how
hers so
long
far.
Pereira is going to
Warm,
make
I don't
us
like
be
warm
here. This
beer.
could be like
That's true.
I don't like.
we have 10 minutes to go.
Me too.
Alex
But I just-
Pereira is waiting to weigh in.
Okay, this is starting to get a little
And
scary now.
He's going to try to push
12
it
minutes.
to right. So he's trying to push it to the top of the hour because after he weighs in, he will have 2 hours to weigh in one
Champ.
more time.
Well, maybe we have those other 3 guys.
fisting?
that
There we go.
just fucking his way,
No,
You know.
no, I'm not.
Look thirsty, Chris.
You want
Thank
me
you,
to take
buddy.
that one?
Yeah, I'm not going to drink 3 at one time.
3?
Yeah, he
Oh,
tried
you
to
have-
hand me 2, and I
oh,
still
got
have my
you.
other
I
one.
got you. All right. You don't have to be so animated about it. I mean, I get it.
I'm a little on my
I think
way.
I pissed her
You're
off.
on your way. You've had half of a
I'm
beer.
only going to get more and more animated. I'll be fucking.
Well, here we go.
I told you I pissed her off.
Yeah.
She's swearing.
I'll
Has she
high
sweared
crotch
before?
the shit out of him.
Here we go.
Wow.
Hey, give her
I'll
one
pick-
more sip.
If I pick him up like Zhang Weili did in Ngannou, do I get some respect, DC?
Are you gonna?
You can do that
pick
to me
him up
then?
right now?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's see
Yes.
it. Let's see it. I don't know what's worse, me being
You
electrocuted
can pick him up. DC has to
or
spin the
me
wheel.
being picked up
I'm
by
not
my crotch.
spinning the wheel.
All right, here we go.
Fireman's scary.
All right, fireman's scary. I didn't put deodorant on. Here we go.
Oh, be careful! I heard a back pop. Oh, I heard a back pop.
Hang on. You gotta go this way.
That's
Try
a
this
big
way.
man.
Maybe this-
That's a big man.
Hang
That's a
on.
big man.
You want to redo or you?
I don't know.
You want the
No,
other
I
one?
think
or you
this is
like
a
I need to
bad
not be
idea.
down low-
This is a
down so
bad
low.
idea.
I need
I
to be
think
down-
this is a bad idea. I vote no.
We're 50 feet up on a balcony.
I'm gonna jump.
Voting no. Voting no. Oh my God!
That's it. It's over.
All right, I won't jump. I
Hold
won't
on.
jump.
No, Call it off. Call it off.
No, you know when you got your partner, they do a double leg, you kind of jump with them?
Call it off. This is bad. It's only getting worse.
I don't know if this is a good idea, guys.
Y'all too close to me.
I'm not jumping.
Oh, you're jumping. Okay. All right.
Power lift. That's good.
Check out my butt. Turn my butt to the camera. It looks good. Go that way.
Oh, my God.
All right, you got it.
Hey, that was impressive. You didn't make it as easy as Weili, though.
I weigh 114.
You're not even a straw weight. That's crazy.
114.
Wyman, what do you weigh right now?
Are you cutting weight right now?
I'm just little. I was an athlete.
You're strong. I cannot believe you picked me up like that. Can you believe that?
I mean, I wasn't all that impressed, honestly.
That really, can I tell you something?
Okay.
That noise you heard.
Ants carry.
That noise you heard really was my
DC,
back.
you're up.
It was your back. I know it was.
Ants carry.
You gotta go DC
Ants
now.
carry.
I'm a chiropractor.
Ants carry 100 times their weight.
I can pick up DC. Chris, what do you weigh?
All right, 230-ish.
DC, what do you weigh?
Laura's a little disheveled from
400.
He won't say. He's pure female.
All right. That's amazing. Let's skip the DC portion of that. I don't want to see that.
I want to pick you up.
Well, that's easy.
Right off the balcony.
That's easy. Why would you do that?
Do we need the whiteboards right now?
No. All right, we're going to do a little rapid fire. Okay. I mean, this is simple. We ask a question, give a quick answer. Laura, you're going to start it. You ready?
Yep.
Adesanya Pereira. Who has improved more as a mixed martial artist since their last meeting?
Israel, for sure. I mean, he's had more fights, more time to do it.
Oh, it just goes in a circle. I'll go Pereira, because his coaches said he was very green back then, and Adesanya had 60 fights or something, so he's had more time to improve.
Okay.
I gotta agree with Chris, because it was only a year, so he's gotten better from last year to this year, right? It's only been a year, so he's improved. Say he's in a title fight, so yeah, Pereira.
Yeah, copy me. Go ahead.
So are you trying to say that Izzy was
In terms
that
of
good
martial
when,
artists,
yeah.
Izzy, wait.
Who has improved more in MMA since they fought
Since their last
in
meeting.
kickboxing?
Well,
So basically, who's the better MMA fighter?
So Izzy.
Izzy,
So
thank you.
Yeah, he's the champion. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
But Pereira might have got better at kickboxing because he had more time in kickboxing
sure.
than Adesanya.
All right. You
They're
did
yellow.
so well on the rapid part until then we went back and we circled back. Fast.
I thought I was
Fast.
super fast.
Yes or
I'm
no?
fast.
You did initially. Do the boxing fights matter when fighting in the octagon?
Yes, they do. Psychologically, predominantly, but there's other parts that matter too. So yes.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention to your question. One more time.
Do the kickboxing fights matter when they're in the octagon tomorrow night?
I think it does because he was knocked out cold. And so that brings a big psychological effect into that fight.
No. Initially, I thought yes, but no. Because this is Israel Adesanya we're talking about. This guy, great.
He just wants to go against me now.
No, this guy, Israel Adesanya, is the greatest middleweight of all time. It will not affect him.
Really? You think that? You think he's the greatest middleweight of all time? Over Chris Weidman, maybe?
All right, well, let's go to this one then. Buy or sell. If Adesanya wins, tying Anderson's win streak, knockdowns, and inching closer to title fight wins, is he the middleweight GOAT?
Sorry, Chris.
Oh,
yes.
no, I don't care.
Yes, he is. He is.
Okay.
If he wins this fight, is he the middleweight GOAT?
Yes.
No, because he still hasn't defended his belt as many times as Anderson Silva.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood
No, you
that.
can't change your answer.
No, I can. I can.
So
I didn't.
I still think Anderson Silva deserves that privilege of being considered the middleweight greatest
fair.
of all time.
I mean, I'm not into like recency bias, but yes, he would be the middleweight GOAT.
Wow.
Because the level of competition that he is beating is crazy.
Okay, but he fought Anderson Silva.
I mean,
Anderson
Anderson
Silva was
Silva
like
fought some
46
pretty
years
good
old, and it
guys.
was a pretty decent fight, actually. You agree?
Do you know who you're acting like right now? Paul Felder.
Really?
Yeah, because every time Charles Oliveira won, Paul Felder looked better. And right now you're acting like that because you want Anderson to keep winning so that you can act like,
Here we go. Here we go. Middleweight contender. Alex Pereira.
Wait, does he make weight or not? What do you guys think?
Dude.
Let's take a bet.
Yes, he does.
How much?
Yeah, I think he does.
He does.
I take
He
20,
does.
he doesn't.
Behind the curtain.
20, he does.
You guys are degenerates.
He's coming up confident. Make sure he's not touching. Can he touch it with anything else right now, DC? Is there anything that
184.6.
184.6.
The official weight for Alex Pereira, and that means your undisputed UFC middleweight championship fight
Nice try.
is now
Thank you for the
official.
$20,
Wait,
bro.
what about those other guys?
They're gone. I don't know if they waited.
What time is it? back. Anybody in the back? Because we have some updates on.
I'm supposed to be talking about Trezano.
Trezano, Nigga Mariano. Like, do you have any updates on those guys?
We're waiting. We're efforting right now.
Because we're 6 minutes away, and those dudes don't get 2 hours.
I can't get it out of my head that your back cracked when you tried to pick me up.
Yeah, dude, it cracked bad.
Do you think Whaley's back cracked when she picked up Nagano?
She probably works out a little more than I do.
No, you work out a lot.
I work out a lot, but not enough to be doing that shit.
I was impressive.
All right, here's the weigh-in results here. We're still waiting on Trezano, guys, as you brought up. And Nicolai Negumereanu has yet to weigh in as well. He's set to kick things off against Black Jag Carlos Olberg in the curtain jerker tomorrow night. Ryan Spann hasn't weighed in, the only one in the prelims that we are waiting on.
That's surprising, Ryan Spann.
And as we look at the main card, we are locked and loaded with every single fight.
Oh, here he comes.
Here is Spann.
Here we go.
Did they create this device because of the Tailgate issue that happened with
Yes.
you? They literally,
That is-
you've created an
we call it
invention.
the DC
Is
box.
someone making money on this? Because Daniel
They should
deserves a cut.
license it.
Like, are you making money on this right now?
Look how they
Be
all put
honest.
their arms up now.
Yeah, they have to.
206.6, the official weight for Ryan Spann.
Wait, what was he?
206 over.
Ooh, and that's it, right?
The divisional.
I could tell by the way he was looking that he wasn't going to make it. The way he was looking
Yeah, he didn't
down.
look happy.
Nah,
It's like when you walk in your house and your dog did something bad and he won't look at you. He's kind of like stuck in the corner. His eyes are like coming up to his eyebrows. That's what he's looking at us like right now.
What is wrong with you, bro?
Modelo represent.
He has 2 hours.
Ryan Spann does too?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to what we were saying before?
So
You
what we were
stepped
saying
forward
before
to the
was
scale,
you couldn't go up to the scale
In the UFC's
and
featherweight
have your
division,
gear
Michael
on and then
Trezano.
take stuff off and then right away weigh in again. Like you can weigh in one more time, but they weren't going to allow that
immediately.
I got a
Okay,
question.
so
I
you
got a
had to
question.
wait, okay.
And you might have the answer to this, Dan. If Michael Trezano and Ryan Spann decide and Nico Mariano decide they want to do 2 hours to make the weight, do we have to wait for them too, as we did Alex Pereira?
Yeah, you better start drinking.
I don't think so.
Trezano's another New Yorker. He doesn't look. He looks a little tired coming on the scale right now. Let's see what happens here. The arms crossed.
Cheeks look a little drawn out.
147.6, the official weight
Pound
for
and a half
Michael
over.
Trezano.
I think that's it. What did he say? He's blaming somebody. He's pissed. He's mad.
He blames somebody?
Is it the nutritionist from the UFC? His fault?
Oh my God.
Whose fault is it?
The lone wolf.
You got to make weight. You got to make weight. Anyway, well, he's a Tiger Showman guy. Ring of Combat champion. I watched him coming up too. He actually beat a guy from our gym twice, James
He's good?
Gonzalez. He's tough, man. He's a tough dude, and the guy from my gym's tough. But you got to make weight.
Got to make the weight.
The Ramsey, New
That's
Jersey.
a flex of
native.
shame right there.
All you want to do is just go and hide.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
They're
"Man, I
taking
really wanna be
pictures
up
of
here."
you.
I don't want
You
anybody
know,
to
they,
see
like,
the
oh,
photo.
do you mind posing a little bit?
All right, and our final fighter to weigh in this morning, competing
So
in the UFC's light
one guy
heavyweight
was a half
division,
pound, next guy was a pound and a half.
Negumereanu.
Pound. What do you?
Yeah.
How much you think Nicolai Mariano is?
What's his last name?
Let me see his
Nega
attitude
Mariano.
right now coming on.
I know,
Nailed
it's
it.
very
Nailed it
close.
on that one.
No, he looks like he's gonna make weight.
He does. He is.
He's
does have a little
confident.
pep in his step.
Let's see if he looks at us in the eyes. Oh no, he's happy. He's good.
Why would?
He's coming in having won 4 straight since his promotional debut in 19.
You see the difference between the body language?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a
Even
body
just his
language expert.
face.
He ain't made the weight, man.
But yeah, he did.
Nope.
He better.
I'm going no.
He's got to
He's
take
close,
his underwear
he's
off.
close, he's close.
They're letting him
That
take
means that
underwear
he's
off.
close. That means that he's close. But they said no stepping on the scale.
I guess they're not following the rules now.
Could you lose a tenth of a pound?
Remember somebody
shaving your
lost a-
beard?
206, the official
There
weight
we go.
for
He made it, bro. The
Nicolai
underwear did it.
Negumereanu.
Yeah, underwear is like a 0.4.
Yeah.
So
Especially because they'd be wet when they're
Yeah.
cutting all the weight.
0.2 to 0.4.
Is there anything that we're gonna do where I get another title fight? Because like Juliana Pena said, I always get title shots, and we can't lose off of this trivia thing that y'all play.
Yeah, we can.
Wait, this is it? You're the champion? It's over?
Well, usually we
about
have
to be.
multiple contests, but
Yeah.
we had a lot of content in this show.
Okay.
Are we gonna get a
what
chance?
else can we do?
Like
well,
to get a title shot?
She didn't get me up in the fireman's. She didn't get me up in the fireman's carry. That's -1.
Oh yeah.
And then you broke even when you got me up.
She fell twice.
No, before the first when you back
fell
wrecked.
twice.
That
There
was
should be
straight up.
something.
I just leaned. I did nothing. And then I jumped to try to help, and then it was actually a negative effect.
That was very detrimental.
Yeah, she's double fisting because she's arrogant.
Fisting right now?
Because she's arrogant. Yeah, she's
Because
double
I'm the
fisting
champ.
because she's arrogant,
Nice,
huh?
bro. Don't say
She's
that.
arrogant because she got a belt. Oh, now she's giving me the DX chop.
She's like, private jet.
Private jet and now championship.
Enjoy American Airlines.
Oh my God.
All right, we're in the middle of some rapid fire. While Senko chugs your beer, I'm going to ask this question. True or false, Israel Adesanya will attempt a takedown against Pereira tomorrow night?
Yes, I'm going to say yes just to be spicy with it.
How weird is that going to be to see
Right?
him? Like, what is it? That's going to look weird. I say at least clinching because we do know he's going to try to push the cardio. And if he's on the outside and he's just using his footwork and they're jabbing, leg kicking, it's not going to be enough
We
to
know
get
he's going to
Pereira
clinch.
tired.
Is he going to shoot a takedown?
I hope he does because if he just falls onto his stomach and he's stretched out, like that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, but what if he looks awesome, Chris? What
If he
just
hits an
like, fuck,
amazing double leg and like,
I'm out of here.
I mean, good
I'm
for
getting
him.
up from the table and leaving. I'm
Because
telling you one
Pereira's
thing.
a big boy.
One
He
time,
might not even have to know how to
Francis
scroll.
Ngannou shot, I was like, oh my goodness.
That was impressive.
Everybody in the heavyweight division is done now.
Yes.
If he can wrestle, you're in trouble. So if this dude Izzy starts wrestling tomorrow and wrestling effectively, I'm out of there, man.
I just don't think he has
Everybody's
the
done.
body type.
I don't know if he will, though. I don't think he will.
You know,
I don't
he's
think
he's skinny, not the strongest, muscle.
So you think if he does shoot,
well phrased.
that advantage Pereira, DC?
I think if he does shoot and he does it effectively, it's advantage Izzy and
Okay.
a problem for everyone in the entire world.
Okay. We just got this update. Trezano, you were right, DC, by the way. Spann and Trezano cannot re-weigh in. So they only the title fights.
Did you say DC? I was the one.
Or did you say that?
I said that.
I've been saying it the whole show.
Yeah.
Jeez, about time I get some
So,
credit.
but the title fights can. They have the 2
Oh, okay,
hours.
so the title fights
Yes.
is an option.
But
I see.
because
Okay.
they are involved in fights that aren't title fights, they are not able to.
That was ballsy. That Spann. Wait, who just took their underwear off? Ramo or whatever. He took his underwear
Mariano.
off. He got a second chance though. He stepped on the scale with his underwear
Chris,
on.
yeah,
He
you're
took it
right.
off.
You're
We
right.
might have to go instant replay and take that away.
He did.
What do you think, DC?
He did exactly. Well, it was because he was up against it, right? He waited until the end. So.
Okay.
That's
Okay, so
kind of- we're
right.
within
But
the,
if you come,
we're moving the
it's
finish
9
line
o'clock.
back a little bit.
Right.
If you go past 11, you're done.
Right.
Unless you're a champion or going fighting for the belt.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I would have an extra 2 hours.
Oh, you definitely do.
I like it. All right, number 5, rapid fire, true or false. Esparza is overly disrespected in the public, the media, and with the odds makers. She's like a 3-1 dog right now.
She's absolutely disrespected. I don't mess with odds, but just in terms of like her public perception, definitely needs more respect on Carla's name.
Needs more respect, yes, but the odds, I mean, Zhang Weili is a problem. And
is.
Listen, Carla Esparza, she's coming off a very razor-thin decision. It was very boring, but go back to her other fights, it's a lot of decisions, a lot of split decisions, a lot of unanimous decisions. And so people tune in to see finishes and to see like super exciting fights, and because she's not bringing that, that's really why, people aren't
Rapid
fire.
Yes.
I was really good before.
She's disrespected. Absolutely disrespected.
All right.
What are you drawing?
Okay, it looked like something else entirely until you made that last wraparound. All right, greater comeback story: Esparza beating Rose, or Zhang beating Esparza, both of them to recapture the UFC gold, if that were to happen, if Zhang were to beat Esparza.
I would go with Zhang Weili. I think her story of getting back to the title would be pretty incredible.
I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
Greater comeback story.
How many times have you said that?
Second time.
When he talks, he's the
You didn't
host
say
of the
clearly. You were
show.
talking to her. You
He's
gotta
the host
actually,
of
you gotta
the show.
open it up to us.
Okay,
You gotta
all right, fair
you
enough.
gotta Send it over here.
I'm turned towards you guys, so I feel like I need to open up to Sanko because I don't want to.
That's true.
shut.
I felt
Thank
like
you.
shut out.
Thank you.
I didn't feel like it was coming to
Okay,
me.
greater comeback story: Esparza beating Rose to recapture the title, or if Zhang beats Carla to recapture the title?
I'll go Weili on that.
Okay.
I think it's in the performance. If it's like a shit performance, that's what it is. I think part of the reason Carla is getting because of the way the fight played out. But I think I got to say Carla. 8 years to get back to a title fight. 8 years. That was your point. And now you're just like crapping on the fact that it took 8 years.
Bro, rapid. Jeez, you pay attention during this show? Jeez.
All right. You guys remember this You Better game? Where you're giving some advice. You were basically acting as if you were a coach to these fighters. And we played this last time with Coach DC. So we'll let you go first with this. Not everyone's going to answer each question, but here we go. All right. DC, let's go Israel Adesanya.
Israel Adesanya, you better get respect very early and realize and show this guy this is your yard. The UFC belongs to you, and you got to immediately, hey, just like you walked in there and pissed on the cage in your UFC debut, mark your territory tomorrow night from the very start of the fight. Put Alex Pereira on his heels.
All right, Weidman, you're on Izzy.
Israel, you better keep the distance. Don't care at all about what this performance looks like. As you know, you don't have to worry about a finish. Just stay on the outside, get to your jab, get to your leg kicks, and then look to get to a clinch position to start tiring out Pereira.
All right, let's talk about Pereira here. You're up.
Alex, you better get in Izzy's face in a smart, calculated way, but pressure him in a way that not many people are able to pressure him. Put him on the back foot, because that is not where he likes to be. You cannot let him get his game going. Alex, do not let Izzy find his flow.
Pereira, you got to go after him immediately. Your cross to your left hook all day long. Don't worry about your cardio. Let it all hang out first round immediately.
Carla Esparza, DC.
Carla, you have got to be calm and calculated in trying to get your takedowns. No rush. Be okay with the stand-up in short spurts, and then when you get your opportunities, secure those takedowns and make them matter. Extended periods of time on the ground. Make her collect full guard. Make her grapple with you, and that will allow for you to hold on to that championship and finally earn the respect that you so justly deserve.
I hate going second on these because you said everything I was going to say. Carla, you have to drown out the noise. You cannot listen to the crowd. You got to go out there and do what has gotten you to this point, and that is rely on that beautiful, phenomenal wrestling that you got, girl. Go get it.
Oh, you're not done yet.
Go, girl.
Let's go Zhang Weili.
Okay, Zhang Weili. Now I'm coaching her opponent. This is awkward. Zhang Weili, you have got to get in Carla's face in a way that does not open up your hips for the takedown. What?
What does that mean?
It was a
You just boo her?
Yes. It was, we had
Bro, that wasn't me. I did not touch that. It's not me.
Chris Preston.
I did not touch
Chris
it.
looked at me
It's
and
not
goes,
me.
That's some old bullshit.
You know, I'm the guest here. I don't even know what this is. You know, this is disrespectful,
That is
bro.
so disrespectful.
I'm live on air here.
Let me finish my thought.
So
you need to tag Carla early. Let her feel that power. Shut the button off.
Give it here, man.
All right. Zhang Weili. Am I doing Zhang Weili?
No, you're not doing Zhang. You're doing Dustin Poirier.
All right. Dustin Poirier. You better get into Chandler's face. Stay crisp with your boxing. Stop a couple takedowns. And no matter what, I will not be distracted by the crowd or whatever else is out there because I'm focused on the task at hand and I will dominate
You're not saying
this
a
fight.
lot.
Let's
Not
go,
a lot of
Poirier.
advice in there.
It sounds like he's at a club in New Jersey. Dustin Poirier.
You're doing
Michael Chandler. Do not allow for your ego to dictate how you fight tomorrow night. Rely on that Missouri high-level All-American wrestling to make Dustin Poirier realize it's not a boxing match or a stand-up fight, but a full-on mixed martial arts contest. You better use that All-American plaque you got from the NCAA. Not many people have them. Weidman and I are two people that do.
That was the most awkward high five.
I wanted to get in the camera, in the frame. Oh, there you go.
Who am I doing?
Punch him in the face.
You're doing Frankie.
Frankie Edgar. In this fight, your retirement fight, all you need to do is have the performance that you want to have. Go out there and leave nothing on the table. Gutierrez is a dangerous striker. Lean on the wrestling, but more than anything, soak in every moment of the walk, the fight, the feeling, all of it. Just own this moment, man, and we're happy.
Yeah.
The real life Rocky Balboa,
Yeah.
man. That's going to be a really cool moment. I'm sure he's been thinking about it for a long time. Joe Rogan had some interesting thoughts with Kamaru Usman on his podcast about retirement. Let's listen.
To say that I talk to my friends, which I consider like big brothers, Daniel Cormier and these guys. And Daniel was like, yo, when you stop, this stops. It just stops. And you feel it. Because as an elite athlete, you feel that.
Yeah.
And I think some of these guys are still chasing that. I mean, Conor is still chasing that. He loves that feeling, which, more power to him if he can still get there. But
the difference between the life of a combat sports athlete and then regular life when it ends is really hard for people to adjust. It's very crazy because it's all about building up to these moments, these extreme moments.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And, if you have a career that's 40 fights, you have 40 of these wild-ass moments in your life. And then everything other than that is preparing for the next moment. It's like celebrating the victory of the moment, rebuilding from the defeat of the moment, training, and getting ready for the next moment.
Yeah.
And then no more moments forever. It all goes away. And for some people, that's hard. Some people find something cool to do, and they find like a crazy hobby that they really enjoy, and they find something that really they can focus on. But I think for a guy who chases excellence his whole life, like yourself, it's very difficult to find something to do with that energy. Because what you're doing is you're not just chasing excellence, you're chasing it globally. You're trying to be the most dominant person at 170 pounds on planet Earth, and you're succeeding at it. And you put forth this immense amount of concentration and determination and discipline and effort and thought and just focus and the process over and over again, day in and day out with incremental improvements. And then you have these moments. And then, boom, you land that right hand on Masvidal and he goes to sleep. Like that kind of moment.
Yeah.
And then the world cheers. But those go away. They go away. You have to find some sort of funnel for that energy.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, it's fascinating with all athletes that I've worked with who have transitioned into broadcasting, Hall of Famers, some of the greatest players of all time. A lot of people really struggle with the thought of retirement.
Yeah, I think it's, especially in fighting, with the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, I really don't think there's anything in this world that you can do to replicate what it feels like to walk into the octagon with so much on the line, possibilities of terrible things happening, getting your hand raised after all the hard work and all the there's always a possibility, no matter how much better you are than somebody and how hard you train, there's always a possibility that you get clipped or you break your leg in half. It's just the possibilities are endless, and I don't think there's anything after fighting that could really, you could do to get that same feeling back as getting your hand raised. And I think that's why it's so hard for guys to finish and just call it a day, because you're not going to be able to find that anywhere else.
It's like fighting is like the prettiest girl, the sweetest thing you've ever tasted in your life, the best food, the best time, all those things wrapped into one. It's all those things, and you have these times, especially when you're the king of the world, right? It's one thing to be a fighter, but it's another thing to be a champion. When you're a champion, the world is just different. Everything opens up to you. So to walk away from that is very difficult. But the one thing that we have done, especially later, is being a part of the show still allows for you to feel a little bit of it. And that's what's made it easier for me to retire, because even though I'm not in the octagon fighting anymore, I still can go to the gym and watch guys spar, and everybody respects that. I get to talk to the fighters. I'm calling the fights. I'm in the arena. It's those things. Do you miss being the man in the arena? Absolutely. When you're that guy, right, the man that doesn't fear being judged, there's nothing like it. But to be around it still kind of fills that cup a little bit.
And to have a goal that means so much, to have like a fight that you set up and you have 10 or 8 weeks to train for it, and to be so disciplined on your diet and your training regimen, and then to get into a fight and get a win, there's nothing like it. And just it's just a healthy way to live too. It's hard when you stop. It's like you don't have anything to really work for.
It's like nothing motivates you to that point. Yeah. You're not even the same person when you start camp to the end of camp.
No.
Like you're a different human being. Like
you saw that Chandler pre-fight camp versus where he's at now. Like how ripped you get and lean.
Yeah,
that's a lot of hard work and you're doing it because you're so motivated.
I think one of the things that we got to be very careful with, though, as fans and as people that talk about the sport, is these guys. When you're talking to Kamaru Usman, and I understand people go, retirement has to be on the horizon. You've done everything. No, let's keep them around for as long as we can have them. Because the moment those guys are gone, they're gone. And I think we take guys for granted. I remember George St. Pierre, for me, was probably the greatest case of this, where he was so dominant, people started asking about retirement. Why? He had years and years left, and then he left. And we're all like, dang, man, this dude had so much left to give to the sport because he retired at like 35. It's like, man, stay around.
Another one like Khabib.
Khabib. It's like, oh, he's undefeated. He'll retire at 30-0. And then he retires at 29-0 when he should have stayed.
Yeah. Well, speaking of staying, we talked about this extensively on the way over here. I feel like I need to ask you on air what your future is after the leg break. I know you've been coming back. You've said that your plan is to fight again. Where are you, and how far away do you feel like you are right now?
Yeah, so I've had 4 surgeries, infections. I've been through a lot. ESPN's going to be doing a documentary on me, E60, that the same people that did Alex Smith's documentary. If you guys have seen that, they did a great job. So they're going to be telling that whole story, so I haven't been able to really share it that much, but I am on my way back. My leg is pretty much there, but sometime in earlier, maybe first quarter, second quarter of 2023, I'll be back out there. And, I'm not just coming back to just be another guy and just to get one fight. I'm trying to, rise to the top, taking one fight at a time, obviously. But yeah, I feel good somehow. I still feel like I'm as high as better. I'm better than ever, really.
You're gonna feel much worse after the golf course this afternoon.
Bro, you can't beat me in golf.
Okay.
I'm a 17. You're a 25. So it's in the pudding. I'm better than you.
Hold on.
Are you play with handicaps?
Are you claiming to be a 25? Because remember, he quits after 15 holes, and then he uses that score to enter it into the handicap.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
It raises my handicap, or makes it worse? Makes me better?
No, you're terrible.
No, yeah, it makes you better.
Yeah,
it makes you better because you're putting in the good scores and you're
right. So you're really like a 35, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, then you give me 18 strokes.
All right, shot a hole.
Shot a hole.
All right, let's go.
I can't wait to see. There better be videos.
No, I'll give you a shot a hole. I'll give you a shot a hole.
He shakes his hand and tries to renegotiate immediately.
Renegotiating.
How much? 300? 500?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
All right, 500.
Yeah.
All right,
$500. Let's go on the round.
So this is what he'll do. He'll hit his ball. He'll drive first always. And then he takes off in the cart while you're waiting to tee your ball up, so he can find his ball in the weeds and then put it out in the fairway and shoehorn it in there.
I'm giving him his balls. He's going to have 2 balls.
You got to mark him.
I'm going to mark him. We're going to mark him. Yeah. And there's no balls in your pockets. There's no other balls in your carts. There's going to be a place where both of our balls stay, and we come together as a team to decide and divvy out the balls appropriately.
I'm really disappointed I'm not going to be there. Real quick, before I toss to this piece. Light heavyweight or middleweight? You coming back at middleweight?
Right now, I'm definitely more of a light heavyweight, but the plan is middleweight.
I can confirm that.
Okay.
I'd just like to say
I am a heavyweight right now, so you lifted a heavyweight.
You are indeed a heavyweight.
I'm pretty much Francis Ngannou at this point.
Felt like it.
All right, thank you.
Mine is 63 pounds since Francis said he weighed in at 293, which was pretty insane.
I weigh a lot less than Zhang Wei.
When Zhang Wei Li
you do. Like pound for pound, you're probably stronger.
Let's run with that. Let's run with that headline.
Well, pound for pound, he is one of the all-time badasses in UFC history. Frankie Edgar going into his retirement fight in his backyard, Madison Square Garden. Here's a look at Frankie Edgar.
Nobody has spent more time in a UFC octagon than Frankie Edgar. Got to admire the heart, the toughness to go along with the skill.
The conditioning level that Frankie pushes is amongst the best in the world in any weight class.
If you want to look up to anyone for his will and determination, it's Frankie Edgar. We have seen him literally get almost put out on so many occasions and come back and win fights that it's hard to really comprehend.
Frankie, the answer, Edgar!
Oh, big knockdown for Edgar! Frankie Edgar by knockout with a huge statement
The Frankie that we saw destroy BJ Penn is the finest version of Frankie Edgar we have ever seen inside of his career.
Herb Dean is going to stop this fight. Frankie Edgar finishes the legend BJ Penn. New lightweight champion of the world.
Oh, he hurt him. Uppercut by Edgar.
Maynard's in trouble. His hands all over. Unbelievable. Frankie Edgar.
Frankie likes to get after it quick. He pushes a pace like no one else in the division, just breaks people, and he is one of the best fighters in the world today.
Under the chin, there's the tap. Frankie Edgar was not going to be denied here tonight. That's it. Frankie Edgar gets the late finish.
I gave him my all, always.
What a career it has been for Frankie Edgar. Look at the fight time. Most in UFC history. Sig Strike, second most.
He's been there for 8 hours.
History, and then 73 takedowns. Fourth most in history. All right, it's time for that kind of rent-free moment regarding Frankie that lives in our heads. You know, it's that favorite Modelo fighting spirit moment that you can't forget about. It's there all the time. DC, let's start with you.
You know, I'm going to go back to when Frankie was going down the featherweight at 145, and he fought Chad Mendes.
Oh, yeah.
He fought Chad Mendes and caught him with this left hook that knocks him out and earns him another title fight, right? So it was not only Frankie changing weight classes, going to a division that was more suited for him, showing power like that, knocking out a longtime contender in Mendes, and then earning a championship fight, interim title fight against Jose Aldo.
Yeah, I'm going with when he fought Gray Maynard at UFC 136. It was the last time they fought. People, I don't know if they really remember how much of a beast Gray Maynard was. Look how much bigger he was than Frankie. He was a better wrestler on paper. And Frankie got dropped multiple times in this fight. And he started coming back, and then he ended up finishing Gray Maynard. I don't know if it was the 4th or the 5th round. But either way, it was like, this guy does not go away. He's fighting these monsters, and he's knocking them out. And that's probably the time I became a huge fan of his.
Yeah, I'm going Frankie and Cub Swanson in 2018 in Atlantic City at Boardwalk Hall, basically his backyard. And keep in mind, he was coming off his first knockout loss. His dad, his grandfather had died, and everybody had his back in this one. And it was the rematch. He pulls it out, the decision, just kept the pressure on basically the whole fight.
I cannot believe that no one's going with this moment right here. This is the moment that Frankie Edgar shocked the world, beating BJ Penn. BJ Penn had not lost in like a decade at that point. He was a massive underdog coming into this fight. And look at him and his team dripping in affliction. I mean, there's so much affliction in this shot.
I'll see your BJ Penn Frankie Edgar 1 and raise you a BJ Penn Frankie Edgar 2 because that was a decision robbery. BJ Penn should have won that one, but then he came back and Frankie Edgar said, nope, the first one wasn't a fluke. The judges got it wrong, but I'm the better fighter. And remember, BJ Penn was the god of lightweight at this time, and Frankie Edgar was the scrappy little guy that could, left no doubt in anyone's mind, started his reign, and he had a legitimate, true, clear decision win over, at the time, the best lightweight of all time.
All right, we're obviously in the tri-state area. Your backyard, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, so many great UFC fighters over the years, Chris, you being one of them. So we're going to go our top 5 list.
All right.
Let's start with you, my friend.
Who's number 1, Chris, on your list?
All right, well, number 1 on my list, I don't know who put this here, but it says Weidman. I wouldn't have done that. That's not humble. And, of course, my coach, Matt Serra, big influence on me for sure. We got Aljamain Sterling winning his belt now for the 2nd time. And, of course, Frankie Edgar, who is going to be retiring here, and Al Iaquinta. And you guys spelled his name wrong, which is super disrespectful. Oh, no, you got it right on the teleprompter, but on this card is ridiculous.
This guy, Chris, just picked all of his teammates. Like, that's so crazy.
Bro, I mean, that's how good we are. What do you want?
I can't imagine a member of this panel doing that, DC.
Yeah, well, you would never do that. You never stand up for your teammates.
I would say John Jones, but he's been in New Mexico for how long? Like, he's not really a New Yorker at this point.
You can't get biased.
He's kind of upstate, though, right?
On TV.
And he was kind of Canada.
Still.
Yeah, well,
all right, is it my turn?
Rashad was winning.
All right, here we go. This is my list right here. Let's go. All right, I got my top 10. 1, I didn't put Jones
Bro.
one.
Oh my God! You
Is
put
this the
John
first
Jones
time
on
you
top
ever
of
put
the
him
list?
on
I mean, it's documented right there.
I did not put him one.
I can see
I did not put him
DC,
one.
I can see it.
I did not, and I did
We
not.
know Derek and graphics.
I
But
just
put anything
listed-
on that board that's false.
I just
so
listed,
we know that's true.
I just listed people in no particular order. But anyway,
First of all, John Jones and Rashad are from upstate New York. This is not
So, but they're still
that's
from
still New York.
It's
still
It's
part
in
of
the state of Try.
But I was.
Then my list
look,
was different.
Edgar, Aljamain,
Yeah.
Weidman.
Yeah. Listen,
Evans,
Buffalo's pretty
Jones.
much Canada.
Here's the thing.
Niagara Falls is Canada.
Me having to leave Matt Serra off. Crazy that there's been 6 UFC champions from New York State.
Wait a second. You left Matt Serra off there, the guy who knocked out George St. Pierre?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Because
Why is
these
that?
guys.
So you made fun of his accent. You said I'd sound like him, and now you took him off the damn list?
He's number 6, bro. He's the 6th UFC champion. So.
Is anyone checking John Jones's Twitter to see his
How many
response
times
to
did Rashad Evans? How many times did he defend his belt? John Jones doesn't count.
Once.
No, I know.
Right?
I know he
Hey,
doesn't.
Okay,
Come on. You should know this.
Come on.
I need to hold on, Senko. I need
They
to
made
settle
me
this
put
before Senko goes. The tri-state area does not include upstate New York.
Yes,
It does.
No, it
does.
doesn't.
It cuts off actually.
Try-
Like
It's in the state.
Albany is
No.
kind of the
Try.
end. Albany's
is
kind of
so
the end,
crazy,
and then
bro.
the,
I mean, this-
actually
all right.
Westchester to me is
All
kind
right.
of like upstate. They don't count.
He's being
Yeah.
silly now, but I would have changed my list. But go ahead.
Anyway,
Yeah.
give the man his laurels. Number 1, I have Frankie Edgar,
Wow.
champ, beat BJ Penn,
Oh, we're going in order.
3 title defenses. Number 2, I got John Jones. I know he doesn't rep New York that hard, but he is from New York, so he's on the list. Number 3, Matt Serra, where he should be on this list.
Thank you.
Number 4, Chris Weidman, of course, and number 5, Aljamain Sterling.
So who's off? Who's off from my list?
Matt. what do you
Rashad.
mean? Rashad Evans.
Rashad.
Ultimate Fighter winner, UFC.
Yeah, no,
champion.
Rashad. I mean,
Amazing coach.
all right.
Hey,
Matt Serra-
Matt
Matt
Serra
Serra's in
was
the
an
Hall
Ultimate
of
Fighter.
Fame.
He was an Ultimate Fighter champion too.
And so's Rashad. And a coworker.
Hall of Famer and co-worker.
And former
so is Matt Serra.
An ex-friend.
You cut out a Hall of Famer, bro.
I put Rashad's in the Hall of Fame too, bro.
How about John Jones?
What about him?
Why'd you put him on there?
He's out. Put Matt Serra. Big Jones in the curve.
Switch out the ones.
All right, so here's my list, and I will say I didn't put Rashad and John, who, by the way, would have been number 1 and number probably 3 on my list because I figured, like you said, Niagara Falls.
Look at you. You're like you're privileged to be in New York. You're a New Yorker now.
You guys had the
So I
same
got Frankie. I got you,
No, he's from
Weidman. I have Aljamain, Sarah, and then Jim Miller.
Yeah,
like,
I had an honorable mention
I
for Jim
think
Miller.
that I know he's never held a title in the UFC. Longevity means something.
Bro, we've had this argument.
I just
I'm
think
not
it
doing
means
this
something,
anymore,
and
bro.
maybe I appreciate it more as I get older. But Jim Miller's
you know
my
what
number,
you tried to do
my
with
number
Jim
5.
Miller?
So you took out. Who did you take out? That was
Everybody. He took
No,
everybody.
Don't take DC's
I
list
didn't
this
have.
serious.
He doesn't have John
Jones and
Jones.
Rashad
Okay.
Evans because I didn't count
And
the
that's fine.
upstate guys.
Okay.
No,
All
listen.
right.
Why is that
Listen.
fine?
So,
I love Jim Miller, so I'm not arguing.
RJ,
Do you want to save your speech for after my list? Because you're going to hate it.
Oh, let's
All right,
see.
go,
RJ. I better
You're
be
gonna
on
hate
that
it 'cause
list.
it's-
That's
'cause
all I
It's going to be
care
Jim Miller,
about.
Jim Miller, Jim Miller, Jim
I
Miller.
don't
So
see Chris
my
Weidman.
list, starting at number 5, first ballot Hall of Famer, all-time wins leader in the UFC,
There
Jim
you go.
Miller.
That's
crazy.
Obviously.
See, that's not cool.
Obviously. Number 4, Rashad Evans, Ultimate Fighter winner.
Hang on. Do you put an
champion.
asterisk next to John Jones's name at all? Is there an asterisk there?
Mine did have one.
3,
You see my
Frankie
graphic?
Edgar,
If you felt
most,
just
maybe the most beloved American fighter. Number 2, Chris Weidman,
Anything else?
knocking out Anderson.
Go on.
You sounded really good with John Jones.
And then number 1, John
That's Weidman
Jones.
is like,
Arguably the best fighter of all time. He's
Hey,
from-
bro,
from New York.
look. So, they think, both of these guys think Jim Miller is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%.
Because he's been here longer than everybody else. Not because he's held the championship.
He's won more fights than
It's
anybody
changed,
else.
bro. You know what?
I understand.
Everything has changed. The way we thought, it was always to me the best fighter is the person that defended the belt the most. That's why Anderson Silva was always
Yes,
the guy, right?
yes,
Everybody's
yes,
catching
yes.
him. Now it's different.
But does Jim Miller go into
Khabib-
your Hall of Fame? But
Khabib-
does Jim Miller go into your Hall of Fame by just being here longest?
Winning the most fights. Every all-time wins leader in every sport is in the Hall of
Last
Fame.
week, somebody else.
Oh, I'm going to start drinking again.
Last
DC,
week,
you have a new list.
Last week, somebody almost passed Jim Miller. Somebody was fighting for the Neil Magny.
Yep.
Passed
Neil
Jim
Magny.
Miller. He's like
so
4
Neil
fights
Magny.
away.
So Neil Magny's the all-time wins leader in welterweight. Is he going into the Hall of Fame?
Yes. Also from New York.
See, that's not.
Every week,
great.
all-time
That's crazy.
But he wins 2 and loses 2. Wins 2 and loses 2. You can't just go in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm, bro.
He averages 3 UFC wins a year.
That's cool, but
That's
how many
insane.
losses does he average?
I'm trying to tell you.
You didn't do that math because it's a little bit unbiased.
I don't have a calculator.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. That's
okay,
a crazy
I understand your point of view, and I respect it. And it's a super valid point. It's impressive, the longevity in this sport in particular.
So let me ask you this. You know who's the
I love Neil Magny, too.
You know who's the all-time wins leader at 115 pounds female?
Who?
I don't know. I'm saying, do you?
I don't know off the top of
Do you? Because that person needs to go into the Hall of Fame, too.
Is it Jillian Robertson?
It might be Jillian Robertson.
She's jumped around weights enough.
Seriously, it might be Jillian Robertson.
No, I don't.
Look, by that logic, that's saying put her in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if the
Yeah, I
sample
agree.
size is big enough in women's MMA right now in the UFC because it hasn't been around as long.
Look at the other sport Hall of Fames. Look at the other sport Hall of Fames.
Fighting Neil Magny in his picture.
Get your cardio up. Get your cardio up.
That's great.
Look at all the other sports Hall of Fames. Every all-time wins leader is in it. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, every single position with the most wins are all in it. So you're saying the UFC Hall of Fame should be held to a different standard?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Can somebody in the truck tell me who's the
fighting
all-time
is
wins
different.
leader
You
at
can't compare it
115?
to football. Football is a completely different sport.
They don't
women's
count wins
115
for
division.
players
Who
in
has the
football
most
unless it's
wins?
a quarterback. Like they don't attach
Does
it
the
to
champion?
the website
How
I
much
went
does
to,
the
they
champion not mean that much to you?
Carla can tie her
Because I think
tomorrow.
belts
Carla
are-
can tie Joanna tomorrow. Joanna has the win.
Okay.
She's a Hall of Famer.
So I mean,
Carla will be a Hall of Famer.
You're not going to change his mind. He doesn't care about belts. He doesn't care if he won the belt.
But it's different.
guy
Like
does.
it's like positions in football. Like there's like
But
what,
they're
two
not from the
punters in
tri-state
NFL?
area, so we kind of went off.
We are off on
So
a
that belt around your waist, Laura, he doesn't give a crap about it.
RJ
There's
doesn't.
nothing to him.
Is she the all-time wins leader? I think in the weigh-in show, so she'd
I
be in
am.
the weigh-in show Hall of Fame.
Yes, can we start
Because belts
Hall of
matter.
Fame?
played.
Right. All right. Well, I'm not a mathematician. Obviously, I'm a thespian, and so
What is
Dean and
that?
I.
Can you?
There's entire websites devoted. No. So Dean and I did this entire great thing. We did it last time. We'll do it again. Take a look. Like that toss.
All right, we're back inside the UFC 281 press conference at Madison Square Garden. We're still looking for the third for our Broadway trio. What are you looking for in our third? What elements do they need to be able to act with us?
This is New York City. This is Broadway. The standard is high. I'm looking for somebody with passion to deliver, someone who can really embody a real Roman killer.
I think we can find one at a UFC presser. Let's go. So he's going to act, and when I start stabbing him, you start stabbing him.
I bet.
All right?
Look at my man with the do-rag and the fake Gucci.
Woo, no. No.
Oh!
It's real Gucci.
He said it's real Gucci. I paid my child support. I promise I did.
Oh my God! You've stabbed someone in the streets of New York before, haven't you? No, your first time. I know you're 10, but you're stabbing at a 14-year-old's level.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You let him talk to you like that? Stab me! Are there any other fighters you want to kill? Daniel Cormier?
Nah.
Chris Weidman?
Nah.
Dan Hellie?
Nah.
You don't know who that is?
Yeah.
Olympus! UFC 281! Who is going to win between Fahada and Israel Adesanya?
Well, Dean, we gave it a lot of Tony Awards. We've met a lot of awesome UFC fans, but we just didn't find the trio that we needed. We didn't find the person with the it factor necessary to be with us. So I guess we're a duo as opposed to a trio.
Well, you know, I am a little disappointed, but at least I got a chance to work on my acting skills and got a chance to show everybody my acting skills. But what's important is that we get a chance to watch the presser happening right now and enjoying the fights on Saturday.
All right, so here at Radio City Music Hall, and the World Cup is getting ready to go on. So we figured we'd do a little soccer event. Miles is here, soccer background. He's probably the best soccer player of the bunch by far. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
Made everyone
Miles?
so far.
I think you guys have. I think Archie's gonna.
You're doing 5 shots.
Okay.
Right?
Five
no
shots.
goalie, 5 shots, best scorer wins, possibly sudden death at the end. Last person gets the belt, and in the weigh-in show Hall of Fame.
I thought we were shooting on you. It's gonna be. You would stop.
You guys
everything.
would have no chance. We'd be here
Okay.
all day.
That is a really
Miles,
good-
Give us a shot.
5 shots each?
Yeah, 5 shots each.
Oh, geez. I thought you played
professionals
soccer.
missing it.
That's embarrassing.
All right.
Your wife would be so disappointed.
Miles.
You got this.
There we
All right,
go.
a little redemption.
Right
There we
in
go.
the heart of it, baby.
All right,
Don't
Laura,
let me
you're
hang
the
him, Miles.
champion. You get to decide
There
the
you go.
order.
Say what?
Okay.
Laura's champ, so she decides the order. Who
All
goes
right.
first?
I would like DC to go, and then I would like Chris to go, and
All right,
then I would
5
like
shots,
Dan to go,
DC.
and then I will go.
No, nice and easy.
I want to pick up on all the
crush it.
technique.
Let's go.
Just a little wide.
It's no
right.
good.
Where's that buzzer?
All right, you're
0 for 1, 0 for
dude.
1.
Oh, nice.
good.
Nice.
Nice shot, nice shot.
All right, 1 for
2.
2. Double champ 1 for 2.
Easy.
All right, keep it going. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
All right, you missed that one.
Oh, he curved it.
2 for 3.
He put spin on
Two
it.
for
He put some
three.
spin on it.
A little mistake.
A little draw.
All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, are you doing a little two-step here? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh.
It leaked on you. It leaked on you. So he's made 2. He's 2 for 4.
2 for 4.
All right, this is big.
This floor is not level, by the way, as you'll soon find out.
Definitely
I'm
not.
figuring this out now.
3 for 5.
Got it in there. Nice work.
five.
Nice
All
work.
right.
All right.
Who's up, Weidman?
Let's go. All right. Yo, I hear whispering. Don't you guys
No, I'm
mess
just,
with me.
I'm
all right?
I'm picking up technique. So I'm going last.
Oh, no.
Look at that touch.
good.
Look at that
easy.
touch. 1 for 1.
Can I buy shirts?
He's over here shopping.
What is happening?
They don't sell soccer skill there, DC.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, little curse.
You gotta know the land.
This
You
ball's
gotta know
like
the way the
Gumpy.
land.
2 for 2.
All right, here we go.
This
Oh,
ball
my
does
gosh.
not roll straight at all.
No.
All right.
Put some heat on it, dude.
No. Ah!
2 for 3.
This guy got in my head. All right, let me bring this up a little bit more.
You kick it hard at
This
all, dude.
floor is not flush.
Kicked it hard. Are you kicking?
Yeah, of course I'm going to kick. I'm a competitor.
What?
Oh, my
My shoes. I didn't go barefoot.
Weidman.
That was
I mean,
like
this is
Connor's first
embarrassing.
pitch. That was great.
Did you do anything else besides wrestle?
This damn ball.
All of a sudden, I feel way better about how I'm going to look.
Oh,
I'm shot.
The ball
Can't
does
leave
not leave the
the
ground.
Chris!
Oh, no.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
3 for
He ties
5.
him. He ties him for the current lead.
I can't believe I
Even-
just choked like that.
Even if I miss all of these, I can't possibly look as dumb as that one
Shank
shot.
goes up in her boots.
Whoa, that wasn't dumb.
It was
Not nice.
pretty
Okay.
bad.
Wyman, can you de-up this shot, please?
Stick and
before
ball
DC makes the
sports,
move?
not.
Oh,
Oh, God.
okay.
Bless him.
Go barefoot. Take those
0-1.
boots off.
I mean,
I would not wear my
Then
bare
the
feet.
weird feet
I know.
people on the
I know.
internet.
It's. Senko, normally the champion goes last.
Oh, yeah,
Sure,
this
no,
is
Sure
supposed to
already
be
won
your
one shot.
No, go ahead.
No, it's too late now.
It's too late.
Oh, for
Yeah.
one.
Dang
So
it.
excited.
Oh,
0 for 2.
oh, she's got to be 100% accurate
You should
now.
really focus on trying to make one. Just one.
What?
Just one at a time.
I've
That
said
belt's
this on.
gone.
If you
I've-
miss this,
I have
that
said
belt-
this on the show before, and
that
I will say it
belt's
again.
gone.
You wanna
I
hit
am
it
not
right here.
good
Right
with
there.
ball sports.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
You got to make
I'm
this
good
to
at
stay
Broadway
alive.
trivia.
You have to make
Don't
this to
miss
stay
the
alive.
ball. Oh, she went too hard.
0 for 3.
All right.
All right, Ellie's up.
All right, baby.
That belt gone, Laura. That
So
belt
what am I
gone.
trying to beat? 2 or 3?
3. It's a 2-way tie for 3.
Chris, go on that side. Chris,
4
go
to
on
win.
that side, go on that
Excuse me. Excuse me.
side. On that side.
Wait, he's over the line. Oh! Bro, we got foot faults.
I know.
There's
This-
a foot
All
fault.
right, I got to take that over because there's a
No,
foot
you
fault.
don't. No, you don't.
No, that's not a redo. Oh,
Offside.
for one.
Oh, for one.
That's good. I'll
Oh,
let
for
you
one.
kick. Go. That's a good one. That was high quality. Right?
1 for 2, baby. Here we go.
That was high quality.
All right, let's
Chris,
see.
you got to go at him a little bit. Give him a little bit.
Let's go. You know, like
You gotta a little bit. You got to give him a little bit.
I got to make this. This is do or die.
We got time. We got a shootout.
Shootout.
We got to shoot
How do we do that?
One shot each.
He's first.
One shot each.
He's first. He's first because
That ball is tricky.
I went first
It
last
is
time.
not.
All right. If you make it, then
Sudden
DC
death.
has to match you.
All right.
You make it, DC has to match. For the win.
This ball is
Are you-
impossible. It's
Are you
so
really
lumpy.
gonna feel good about
For
beating
the
a
win.
guy who's still working on one leg?
Yeah.
Whoa, Laura, come on. I
No,
don't want to
you
bring that
mentioned
up.
it.
I'm trying to be a normal person here.
No, you mentioned
I don't want
it
to be
earlier.
looked at like a person with disabilities.
dub.
You know, I'm okay.
On the pitch.
Okay, I'm good.
Pressure get to him.
This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Now
This
we
is a
lead into
nightmare.
that.
This sucks. This sucks.
He's high-fiving.
That ball is weird.
This a terrible ball.
It's a terrible ball. We need a legit soccer
My
ball.
back is quite possibly broken.
I can't believe.
Don't say that. Yeah, you got a broken back.
I can't believe you let him do that. All right, speech, DC.
Hey, can you shake my hand? Can you shake my hand? Hey, congratulations.
Is he crying? Is he crying?
Congratulations, man.
It's all I've ever wanted.
Makeup.
It's all I've ever wanted. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
All right, DC. Good job, buddy.
Congrats,
hey,
bro.
Weidman.
Congrats. Do we have any other games to play?
Good job. This is it.
Play Connect Four or something?
Unfortunately, we're going out once again with DC having the belt.
This is terrible.
There's nothing I enjoy less than giving him another belt. Sanko can win it. Our guest analyst can win it. Anybody besides DC. But again, he leaves as the champion. All right, it's going to be a huge weekend here in New York City, Madison Square Garden, UFC 281 ceremonial weigh-in show coming up later this afternoon at 4 p.m., I believe. Yes, indeed it is. So you guys will be there. I'll be flying back across country. Can't wait to watch. Have a great weekend, guys. Sanko, I'm sorry that you did not see the belt or win the belt. So it is going to be an epic time.
I'll get it back, don't worry. I'll get it back.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will. I always do.
Oh, we got the Cookie Monster coming in.
I need to come back. I need to come back to do this now.
I want you to come back.
Yeah,
I'm actually I'm gonna politic for you to come all the time.
Thank you.
I love you on the show.
Well, thank you, man.
I love
appreciate
you
that.
on the
Let's
show.
go. You hear them? You hear them back there? All right, you better make it happen.
re-rack
Let's go.
all of
And
the
we need
other
different
guys
games.
that
We need
DC
different
said
games
to.
and better games. I want to be a part of it.
It was one of my favorite shows. Yeah, Laura dropped trying to pick up Chris. That was awesome.
Yeah, she broke her back.
Her back cracked louder than
it was bad.
I won the.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you at the next weigh-in show.
Thiago!
Enjoy UFC 281.
Thiago!
Hey, let's get it.